You're all set, and just expand your. And see when.
Hey, looks like your mic is gonna work.
Yeah,
I
we're
think
starting
we're
to
getting there.
starting to get there.
Okay. And then just expand the screen so you can see it.
Hey, look at that.
Okay, so being 6:32, we're going to start the meeting. I'm going to ask for a nomination for select board.
I nominate Melanie Jewell.
I'll second that nomination.
Are there any other nominations?
Ricky
Wait, do
on
we
you.
need a call to order and pledge of allegiance?
Yeah, we're supposed to
Should we do
do
that
that
first?
before.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
my agenda, I'm
We
sorry.
did that all before.
That's okay.
And I didn't hear what was said.
We're gonna do a call to order and the pledge of allegiance first, Rick.
Okay, that sounds good.
Pledge of
Allegiance to the flag of the States of America and to the republic. One nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. So now we're going to start the meeting and ask for nominations. And
Okay, I nominate Melanie Jewell as chair.
and Carol.
I'll second that.
Are there any other nominations?
I'd like to nominate Dan Newman. I think why I'm doing this is I think we need to share some of the responsibility that goes on with this, and so that's kind of what I think we need to do.
Are there any seconds for the nomination? Okay. So not seeing any seconds. We have a nomination for Melanie as chair, and Carol seconded that. Barbara, your vote?
Yes.
Yes.
Carol?
I'll abstain.
Ricky, your vote for Melanie?
Melanie is nothing personal, but no, I nominated Dan. I'm going to stay with it.
Dan?
Even in the middle of it, I don't particularly like it, but I guess I'll go no for now. See what happens.
Okay, so we have 2 noes, 3 yeses, so Melanie,
2 noes and 1 abstention.
Oh,
so
1
Can I
abstention.
choose to not abstain
So,
You can choose to vote for yourself.
for myself?
okay. Yes. And Barbara, all right, so Melanie is the new chair, so Melanie, you want to ask? For vice chair?
All right, so Barbara, can you let this computer in too, please?
I would nominate Barbara Allen as vice chair. Some training in. New blood.
All right, so we have. Gracious, okay, that was fast.
Need to turn off the sound,
Yeah, probably.
turn off the audio.
Just, there should
Is
be.
that noise is coming in?
I'm working on it. Difficulties. Just mute.
There we go. That's better. Okay, so there's a motion there, so sorry. Barbara Allen's been nominated as vice chair and seconded. Are there any other nominations for vice chair?
I'll make a nomination, Dan Newman.
Is there a second for that? All right, seeing none. All right, so it's back to Barbara Allen for vice chair. Barbara?
Yes.
Carol?
Yes.
All right, I will say yes to Barbara, a second. Dan?
I'll just say yes.
4 yeses, Ricky?
Can't hear you.
I'll be good, yes.
Oh, there you are. Okay, 5 yeses. All right, Barbara, you're vice chair.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, so the next part of the meeting is public comment. So this is the portion of the meeting where you can bring things to the select board's attention that may not be covered on this evening's agenda. Is there anyone that has something that they'd like to bring to the board's attention? All right, seeing nothing, we'll move right along to old business. First up on old business is the approval of the March 15, 2022 select board meeting minutes. I'll take a motion. So moved. And moved and seconded. Those are open for discussion. Seeing none. Barbara?
Yes.
Carol?
Yes.
Dan?
Yes.
Ricky?
I'm going to abstain. I wasn't there.
And so 4 yeses, 1 abstention. All right, new business. So first up, we have appointments. Let me just see. So we have, first up, we have Ann Wright as an appointment to the Board of Appeals. Is Ann here with us? Hi, Ann. Nice to meet you. So usually we quiz people in this first round, like, why would you like to be on the Board of Appeals?
Sure, thank you. I've lived in Belgrade for about 17 years. I think it's a great town. There's a lot going on. I'm now fully retired, so I have a little time to be able to devote and give back and get involved in town government. And the appeals board is one that interests me. I have a legal background, although I'm not licensed in the state of Maine as an attorney. I have graduated from law school, have my degree, and to me, that sounds like a very interesting board to be part of. It also gives me the chance to make sure that we're able to keep Belgrade the way it should be and make sure that all the rules are being followed.
Same playing field for everyone.
Pardon me?
Same playing field for everyone.
Exactly, exactly.
All right, does anyone have any questions for Ann? Seeing none, I'll make a motion that we approve Ann Wright's application to the Board of Appeals. Moved and seconded. All right, all those in favor, Barbara,
Yes.
Carol,
Yes.
Ricky,
Yes.
Dan?
Yes.
All right, 5 yeses, welcome aboard.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank
Next,
you.
we have Richard
We'll
Greenwald
put
as
together
the
a packet
assessing.
by Lynn and get it to you.
Okay, all right. Thank you.
Yeah, and I'll call you in to be sworn in.
We have Richard Greenwald.
So there wasn't anything for Richard
So we have
that
him
I'm aware of. I think Anthony just wanted to have him appointed and,
as the addressing officer.
right.
Because Anthony right now is acting along with Dan, correct?
Or
Are you the addressing officer as well, Anthony?
Travis and Dan.
Travis is, okay.
And Dan, yeah. both of them.
So I'll make a motion that we appoint Richard Greenwald, our CEO, as the addressing officer.
Second.
Moved in second. Is there any further discussion? All right, seeing none. Barbara?
Yes.
Carol?
Yes.
Dan?
Yes.
Rick?
Yes.
All right, 5 yeses. All right, next we have Laura Dunbar, and she is is this a reappointment for
It's a
Laura?
reappointment.
Okay, so reappointment. I'm gonna try to,
Get people to circle those maybe,
Yeah.
or to put another, we can add another line in there.
It's
yeah,
on the agenda because of reappointment.
right, but just on the application as we're going through, sometimes it's easier. So Laura Dunbar is a reappointment for the Don C. Stevens Fund. Take a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Dan seconded. Is there any discussion on that? All right, seeing none. Ricky,
Yes.
Barbara,
Yes.
Carol,
Yes.
Dan,
Yes.
5 yeses. All right, George Seal to the Planning Board, reappointment. All right. Make that motion that we reappoint George Seal for the planning. Board.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Is there any further discussion? All right, seeing none. Barbara,
Yes.
Carol,
Yes.
Ricky,
Yes.
Dan?
Yes.
All right, 5 yeses. All right, next up, we have Richard Bourne for the Board of Appeals, reappointment. I'll make that motion.
Second.
Moved and second. Is there any discussion? All right, seeing none. Dan,
Yes.
Carol,
Yes.
Barbara,
Yes.
Ricky,
Yes.
All right, 5 yeses. All right, this next one's kind of iffy. All right, next up, we have Bruce Galush as a reappointment to the Transfer Station Committee. I'll make that motion.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Good you, Shoo-in. All right, Ricky,
Yes.
Barbara,
Yes.
Carol,
Yes.
Dan,
Yes.
5 yeses. All right, next we have Tom Daniels as a reappointment, correct, for the
Yes.
Transfer Station and Recycling Committee. I'll make that motion.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? All right, seeing none. Rick,
Yes.
Dan,
Yes.
Carol,
Yes.
Barbara.
Yes.
All right, 5 yeses. All right, Rita, I always want to mangle his last name. Pfister? Pfister. I always feel like I'm going to say it wrong. All right, Rita is a reappointment to the Transfer Station Committee. I'll make that appointment. I'll make that nomination.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? All right, seeing none. Barbara?
Yes.
Carol?
Yes.
Dan?
Yes.
Rick?
Yes.
All right, 5 yeses on that one. All right, next we have a reappointment to Mary Vogel for the Senior Resources Committee. I'll make that motion.
Second.
Dan seconded. Is there any discussion on that one? All right, seeing none. Ricky?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Barbara?
Yes.
Carol?
Yes.
5 yeses on that one. All right, then we have Tasha Grady as a reappointment for the Senior Resources Committee. I'll make that motion.
Second.
Dan seconded. Is there any discussion? Seeing none. Barbara?
Yes.
Carol?
Yes.
Dan?
Yes.
Rick?
Yes.
All right, 5 yeses on that one.
Okay, so while we're doing those reappointments, can we take up Nicholas Alexander?
Oh,
All right, so Nicholas Alexander would like to be reappointed for the Board of Appeals. I will make that motion.
second.
Dan seconded. Is there any discussion? Seeing none. Barbara?
Yes.
Carol?
Yes.
Dan?
Yes.
Rick?
Yes.
All right, 5 yeses.
Thank you.
All right, next up, we have the annual appointments of the municipal officers and the. So I'm going to read right down through the annual appointments. We have the animal control officer, Tricia Davis, for 1 year. The assessing agent is RJ Duplessis for 1 year. IF&W agent is Mary Vogel for 1 year. Motor vehicle agent is Nicholas Poole. Civil emergency management director is Edward Ketch Jr. Code enforcement officer Richard Greenwald. Registrar Charlene Houle. Town clerk Mary Vogel for 1. These are all 1 year appointments. Town clerk Mary Vogel. Freedom of information officer Mary Vogel. General assistance administrator Anthony Wilson. Public information officer Jeremy Dameron. Plumbing inspector Richard Greenwald. Road commissioner Jason Stevens. Tax collector Nicholas Poole. Jason Stevens for tree warden and Nicholas Poole as treasurer. I will make the motion that all of those appointments. Moved and seconded. Is there any further discussion? All right, seeing none. Barbara?
Yes.
Carol?
Yes.
Dan?
Yes.
Rick?
Yes.
All right, 5 yeses. All right, now we have the election workers that need to be appointed by the select board.
And I would like to add one name that was submitted in error, was handwritten on my original form, and that would be Sue Bradshaw. And that would be under Democrat.
So where it has a U, are those unenrolled?
Unenrolled,
Unenrolled.
yeah. So we tried to get as many as we could from the different parties to make sure that we have a level playing field.
And then what is G?
Green.
Green
Oh,
Party,
Green Party.
yeah,
So is unenrolled like independent or?
No,
considered.
no.
Well, there's no
We have no independent parties,
established.
unenrolled.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it's.
'Cause I'm an
it's-
independent.
No, no, technically you're not.
No, you're
If you're
unenrolled.
technically an independent,
I am
you're
unenrolled.
in the Green Party. Because if you look at the title of the Green Party, it's Independent Greens.
Oh.
Okay.
Let me
It's a
fix
different-
that.
it's a different-
Yeah. All right, so I'm gonna do these individually. So Cheryl Cook, party affiliation is Republican. I will make that motion. Move down second. All those in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
Barbara, Carol, Dan,
Yes.
Rick?
It's not a yes.
He's nodding.
Yes.
Okay, 5 yeses. All right, Catherine Dameron, Republican. I'll make that motion.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Dan, oh, any discussion? Dan,
Yes.
Carol,
Yes.
Barbara,
Yes.
Rick?
Yes.
All right, 5 yeses. All right, Judy Johnson for Republican. I'll make that motion.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? All right, seeing none. Dan,
Yes.
Rick,
Yes.
Carol,
Yes.
Barbara?
Yes.
All right, 5 yeses. Howard Hollinger, Republican. I'll make that motion.
Second.
All right, any discussion? All right, Howard, you know, there's Warden. Dan,
Yes.
Rick,
Yes.
Carol,
Yes.
Barbara.
Yes.
All right, 5 yeses. Penny Morell is Republican. I'll make that motion.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? All right, Dan,
Yes.
Carol,
Yes.
Barbara,
Yes.
Ricky.
Yes.
All right, 5 yeses. Gary Muller, Republican. I'll make that motion.
Second.
Seconded. Any discussion? All right, Dan,
Yes.
Rick?
Yes.
Just keep your thing on.
Yes.
Carol. Barbara.
Yes.
All right, 5 yeses for Gary. Christian Bishop is Republican. I'll make that motion.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? Barbara,
Yes.
Carol,
Yes.
Rick,
Yes.
and,
Yes.
all right, 5 yeses. Mark Berlinger, Republican. I'll make that motion.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? All right, Dan,
Yes.
Carol,
Yes.
Barbara.
Yes.
Yes.
All right, 5 yeses for Mark. Nicholas Alexander, Republican. I'll make that motion.
Second.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? Barbara,
Yes.
Carol,
Yes.
Rick,
Yes.
Dan.
Yes.
All right, 5 yeses. Donald Lewis, Republican. I'll make that motion.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none. Barbara,
Yes.
Carol,
Yes.
Ricky,
Yes.
and,
Yes.
all right, 5 yeses. Next, we have Joan McKenzie, Democrat. Make that motion.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? All right, Rick.
Yes.
I think I mixed it up. Dan,
Yes.
Carol,
Yes.
Barbara.
Yes.
All right, 5 yeses. Barbara Barrett, Democrat. I'll make that motion.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none. Barbara,
Yes.
Carol,
Yes.
Dan,
Yes.
Rick.
Yes.
All right, 5 yeses. Becky Seal, Democrat. I'll make that motion.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? Barbara,
Yes.
Carol,
Yes.
Ricky,
Yes.
Dan,
Yes.
5 yeses. Katarina Burdette, Democrat. I'll make that motion.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? All right, Ricky,
Yes.
Dan,
Yes.
Carol,
Yes.
Barbara,
Yes.
5 yeses. All right, Regina Coppins, Democrat. I'll make that motion.
Second.
All right, any discussion? All right, Dan,
Yes.
Rick,
Yes.
Barbara,
Yes.
Carol.
Yes.
All right, 5 yeses. Alexander Terrio, I'll make that motion. Alexandra, sorry, I think I said
Second.
Alexander. All right, moved and seconded. Any discussion? All right, seeing none. Barbara,
Yes.
Carol,
Yes.
Dan,
Yes.
Rick.
Yes.
All right, 5 yeses for Alexander. Kathy Roulette, Democrat. I'll make that motion.
Second.
Any discussion? All right, seeing none. Barbara,
Yes.
Carol,
Yes.
Dan,
Yes.
Rick.
Yes.
5 yeses. Gerald McGoldrick, Democrat. I'll make that motion.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? All right, Carol,
Yes.
Barbara,
Yes.
Dan,
Yes.
Rick.
Yes.
All right, 5 yeses. Nicole Moore and Scribner. I'll make that motion.
Second.
Any discussion? All right, seeing none. Carol,
Yes.
Dan,
Yes.
Barbara,
Yes.
Ricky.
Yes.
All right, 5 yeses. Next, we have Tana Woodkin, Democrat. I'll make that motion.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none. Barbara,
Yes.
Carol,
Yes.
Dan,
Yes.
Rick.
Yes.
All right, 5 yeses. Caitlin McGoldrick, Democrat. I'll make that motion.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? All right, seeing none. Ricky,
Yes.
Barbara,
Yes.
Dan,
Yes.
Carol.
Yes.
All right, 5 yeses. Kelly Webster, Democrat. I'll make that motion.
Second.
Any discussion? All right, Barbara,
Yes.
Carol,
Yes.
Dan,
Yes.
Rick.
Yes.
All right, 5 yeses. Valerie Hudsbath, Democrat. I'll make that motion.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? All right, seeing none. Dan,
Yes.
Rick,
Yes.
Carol,
Yes.
Barbara.
Yes.
All right, 5 yeses. Christina Wilson, Democrat. I'll make that motion.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none. Dan,
Yes.
Rick,
Yes.
Barbara,
Yes.
Carol.
Yes.
All right, 5 yeses. Susan Baldock, unenrolled. What is it? Not unenrolled, right? It is
It is
unenrolled. Okay,
unenrolled.
unenrolled.
You for unenrolled.
All right, I'll make that motion.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? All right, seeing none. Dan,
Yes.
Rick,
Yes.
Carol,
Yes.
Barbara.
Yes.
All right, 5 yeses. Maureen Kibler, unenrolled. I'll make that motion.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none. Barbara,
Yes.
Carol,
Yes.
Dan,
Yes.
Rick.
Yes.
All right, 5 yeses. Kathy Sauter, unenrolled. I'll make that motion. Moved and seconded. Any discussion? All right, Rick,
Yes.
Dan,
Yes.
Carol,
Yes.
Barbara.
Yes.
All right, Victoria Alexander. Green Party. I'll make that motion.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? All right, Dan,
Yes.
Rick,
Yes.
Carol,
Yes.
Barbara.
Yes.
All right, 5 yeses. All right, Sue Bradshaw, Democrat. I'll make that motion.
Okay.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none. Barbara,
Yes.
Carol,
Yes.
Rick,
Yes.
Dan.
Yes.
All right, 5 yeses. All right, next up under new business, we have discussion of the RSU 18's proposed 2022 budget. Superintendent Paul Hartley.
Well, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
And very impressive on the efficiency of your, that's not easy.
We're like, this is.
Just tongue-tied a little bit there for a little bit. I will, so welcome everybody. I appreciate you having me here. My name's Carl Riley. I think I know all of you. Hello to everybody out in Zoom land. I'll start with, we're working on the budget, but I'll start with a very important thing is our board has not approved anything. And I know I'm always hesitant to go out and do the, conversation about the budget until the board gives it its blessing, just like I'm sure, you would not want, Anthony going out and talking about a document that has to be approved by the select board until the select board actually approves it. So I want to start with that this is a draft. This probably will, or I don't know, this may or may not change. That is up to the school board, and then whatever they adopt gets approved, it goes to the voters. So, but I just want to preface with that, because I always hate, I put something in print so you could have a handout, but then, if it changes, I don't want anybody surprised. So I start with that. I will be pretty brief in anything I'm going to talk about, but I will answer as many questions and stay as long as anybody wants to talk. So we'll leave it at that, and then I'll get going. And to the people out in joining us on Zoom, I made a handout just to have something to talk about here. I'll try to describe what it is. There's nothing desperately that you have to have the handout in front of you to be paying attention. And if you ever want any more information, you can just contact me and I'll get it to you. And I'll leave some copies here at the town office. So with that, so the first page on the document just shows the per pupil spending, and this is, I get these are all from, most of my data comes right from the Department of Education. So the per pupil spending of the school districts in this central Maine area. We are, if you pay attention, if you take a look at RSU 18, we're fourth from the bottom. So we are one of the lower cost per students of school districts in this area. State average is just over 18,000. Question already, all right.
I'm noticing RSU 38 is listed.
Where did I put them? Like,
In the middle, sort of.
yeah, the middle one is not correct. The RSU 38, the top one, I'll have to fix that, the typo on the one in the middle. I'm trying to remember who that is off the top of my head. I'll have to check that. But thank you. So we are fourth from the bottom. We are in general, we have worked hard over the last, decade or so to keep our cost per student very low. And I think we've done it. Next page. I put, these are the most recent data. Now this, I say most recent data, the data is always a year behind academically. We're taking this year's test in the next, month or so. So, but this is the 2021 data. The state average, this is the percentage of students meeting or exceeding the state expectations. You will see in reading, we were the top in Central Maine, and in math, it came down to like, you had to go a few decimal places, but we did come in second. So, but we are, if you look at these two pages quickly together, all I wanted to show you here is we are one of the lower price per students district in the area, and we are getting the best results in Central Maine. And so it's a good deal. Then I get into a typical type budget document, cover page. I'm going to skip over that page. Then you'll see articles, and I'm not going to read you all the articles and the dollar values. You can look at it if you choose. It goes right through Article 1 being regular instruction, right down through. I'll skip to the next page. Oh, sure. Go absolutely on.
So under Article 1, regular instruction.
Yeah.
ELL total, what does ELL stand for?
English language learners.
Okay, so if the adopted budget had that at 101,022, why in the 23 proposed budget is it 35,000?
So last year's budget was 101,000. We had a full-time teacher in that position. We have very, very few ELL students right now needing services. Which coincidentally got another one today that's going to need a lot of services. But right now our plan is we can do this with an in-tech instead of a full-time teacher and a part-time in-tech. So we just cut the staffing. That's one of those ones that's a challenging one to staff because it is strictly, if you have a student that needs the services, you have to provide them. If the students move out, you adjust the budget down, or you just leave it in there and pad, but we try not to do that too much, but it is one that's challenging. Good question. And we can come back and go over any of these, but I'll sort of do a quick cut to the bottom of that next page. This is where it is right now. Our budget is up 1.57% over FY22. I think that's an extremely frugal budget. You're going to see in the area, in Central Maine, 6, 8, 10% increases. So I think 1.57 is an excellent number. As you all know, just because the budget's up 1.57, that doesn't mean what each town is up. That's our overall expenditure budget. Belgrade this year, if this budget, this is all ifs, if this budget goes through as it is drafted right now, Belgrade would be up 0.49%. A grand total of $32,500. That would be Belgrade's total increase. I'm hoping that's a good number for your town.
What's the cost per student? Does that come up later on?
If you use, there's lots of ways to calculate that. The one that the state, the DOE used, were about 16,200.
For Belgrade? Or for-
Oh, no, that's our cost per student for the district.
Right, but what's it for Belgrade?
I don't calculate it out. I
Okay.
can, so I'm gonna write down questions and I can get answers for you.
Okay, yeah, I'd be interested just to see.
Yes.
Calculation on fuels, is that?
Yeah, fuels, I have about $200,000 in, 217, I think. Let me take a quick look someplace here. I wrote down a number. Yeah, we have $217,000 in extra fuel, and that's wood chips surprisingly came in flat. I was thrilled at that. But diesel,
Right.
electricity, I still think that might be a little low, but I'm nervous about that. But we have $217,000 extra for fuel costs, and I still think that's gonna be tight. That's a scary, and I don't know how to figure out when to go out to bid for number 2 fuel right now. I mean, it's, we're paying, I don't know, what are we paying now? 196 or so right now. So I think if I went out to bid right now, if I was to get less, sell for $3, I don't, and
I don't even think you can get a bid.
no, I don't, there are towns, districts I know, not only is shared, they go for bid, they get nothing. So it's challenging, and I can't get myself to send, to sign a contract for $3.25 for number 2 fuel, to sign in a contract, so it's a little nerve wracking.
And how big an increase is that over last year?
The
Dollar amount, I was just
Do you know a
curious.
percentage of that? I'll have to get an exact
Okay.
percentage. Our
I was
fuel,
just looking roughly. so-
yeah. I know our electricity told us to expect a 40% increase. But we have a contract till next February, so we won't see that till then. So we're pretty good for next year. That has helped us. We're ending a 3-year contract for electricity.
Oh.
And we have the hydro, we work with a hydro powered plant to try to reduce our electricity costs as well. So
And that was a 3-year contract, probably. I thought there was
Yep.
something with that. There was like a longer
the what's
term
it?
I thought,
The electricity,
yeah,
our deal for electricity was 3 years. Our deal with the hydroelectro is longer.
okay, so like 20 years.
That
or
one's a
something,
20
right?
year. With opportunities to get out every 1, 2, 5, 10, but given conditions, but that one is longer. But our contract for just electricity that we've been in, actually, I want to say this is our 2nd or 3rd rotation of being on electric contract with Constellation Energy. That's a 3-year.
Okay,
And we've already gotten notification from them that we're gonna have to be going out, for next February, go out to bid again.
so what's the difference with that and the hydroelectric one? Like, what do we?
The
use with
hydroelectric,
that?
that's the net energy billing. We basically buy these credits, so we buy them cheaper, and they knock a little bit more off our bills. So we spend $30,000 in net energy billing credits, but $40,000 comes off our CMP bill. So
Okay,
it's
'cause
just.
that's what I was gonna ask if it was, what the percentage was that.
Yeah, we're expected to save, if you go with typical rates, if you look at the last 2 or 3 years worth of billing cycles, I think our estimate was around $32,000 savings from the hydro powered contract a year.
Okay, so percentage wise, how does that break down? Because I know when we signed on with the solar, it was guaranteed 15%. So is. the-
Yeah, the solar had a little bit higher guarantee. Ours is around 12. I want to say, I don't remember your number, but yeah, I think it's around 12. It's a little higher, but we were able to get no risk clauses in there so that if we don't use it, we have, we don't have to worry about owning equipment. We took a solar deal to the board and they voted it down. They didn't want to do solar, so that's why I went out and looked for the hydro.
Okay, thank you.
Good questions.
Staffing, how are you doing with that? Plans for that?
Staffing is.
Wage increases.
Yeah, it's challenging. Actually, today we finished negotiation with the support staff to try to give them a little bit of a bump to try to get
That's
it.
figured in.
That's all figured in here. The teachers, the state law teachers the minimum teacher salary is set by legislation. Next year it's 40,000 as a minimum for first year teachers, and then it goes up by negotiated contract. The ones that I was worried about were our lowest paid hourly employees. We worked, the board, the board pushed to try to let's give them a little bit of bump because we can't get employees if we don't. It's hard to, we're competing with.
Everybody's.
And it's hard. We have vacant positions, but I also say we're one of the only school districts that fills all of our teaching positions every year. We do pretty well with staff. But all of our increases are all built in there. If you go back to this document, and I'm going to turn one more page, you will see The top section there answers your question that you just answered. So our staffing increases, and I've got it broken down, teachers, ed techs, administration, et cetera. Total increases are $475,000. The big one then, if you look at the next chunk down, benefits, health insurance, which is the biggest one part of this. Health insurance is up, 547. It's $547,000 itself. Health and dental. So our total benefit package cost to the district is up $575,000. So those are big numbers. But, salary and benefits is of our $41 million budget. Salaries and benefits is 31 million. So that's what we are staffing rich budget. I mean, that's where we spend our money. So you'll notice even those two numbers, without if looking at any other increases, that's well over. That's $1 million increase. Our total increase for the budget year is only $643,000. We had so I'm listing the increases here, but we also have a lot of cuts that we did too, which is why we were able to get our budget so low.
What is course reimbursements?
We have in our teacher contract, ed contract, we'll pay for up to a few credits for that is considered part of their benefit package.
And that's coming down dramatically.
Yeah, we over the last few years, we have, people just haven't been doing as much of that. So we also get some federal money for courses and we have a little bit of extra built up there. So we were able to make a cut in regular budget.
Now, I'm not sure if it works the same way, but I know how it used to work is that the teachers had to take those courses and get those degrees in order to stay in their position. And part of that perk was that they were reimbursed.
Yep.
So
we require a master's degree for our teachers within 10 years of hire. They get up to 12 at the University of Maine credit rate, up to 12 credits per year towards getting that master's degree. This year it's, I don't know, $60 to $6,300 they can take. Once they get their master, obviously most of them stop, but we do push for that.
Okay, I just wondered if we're seeing less being done because there's less reimbursement.
Well, our people are not getting reimbursed less. They're still getting their reimbursement. It's just we had a pot of money that we didn't use, so we were able to cut the regular budget's amount of money we need in the regular budget to pay for those courses.
Okay, thank you.
No, good. I like the questions. This helps me because I have to deal with my school board, which is next Wednesday, so I'll be ready with questions. I don't know what else you guys have for questions for me.
Well, I'm gonna hit you up on an important one. and I think
Sure.
We talked about it. We talked about it a couple of times. Where are we at as far as having staffing that helps to address mental health issues?
Yeah.
Especially in the high school and middle school ages.
Yeah, I mean, that's been a huge focus for us, over the last few years, but this last year especially, from our decisions to be in school every day to how we've handled staffing. So we've hired, I'll do the very quick 2-year version. We go back 2 years, we had in all of our elementary schools, basically 3 days a week worth of social worker in every building. We now have 5 days a week. We have a full-time social worker next year in every single elementary school. At the high school, we have 3 full-time guidance counselors, plus we've hired an extra social worker to deal with mental health issues. And we have 2 full-time social workers that will float around the district, helping students with drug and alcohol issues, social work, mental health issues, et cetera. We've made it a focus with our professional development, with our guest speakers. We've had NAMI come in and educate our staff in, I think, every building. Mr. Moran lined this up for us. So he brought in either NAMI or
Maine Resilience Building.
Maine Resilience Building Network to come in and do professional development with our staff and how to support students and staff with mental health support. So it's been a push. It's sadly a needed push, and it's not going away.
Good answer.
And I like that question the best of all the questions I got tonight.
Well, that's been the
Are
hardest
students
one.
taking advantage of the social work?
Yes, they are extremely busy. They are very, very busy.
On their own initiative, students are coming?
At different age groups, initiative at elementary school. We do, those people probably spend a third of their time doing classes, you know, like with a whole classroom of students, and do social skills and social emotional learning skills. And then they do small groups. You know, there's some kids that, you know, they haven't learned how to play with others. There's other kids that haven't learned, you know, what the word no means, and they have to, you know, if they get a negative reaction, they blow up, and they, you know, so they have to learn those skills. As you go up through, it becomes more student-driven and initiated interactions. Different types at the middle school kids in general are, you know, struggle with more, you know, body image and self. And then you hit the high school, you start dealing with, you know, more relationship issues, drug and alcohol issues, self-reporting issues, self-harm issues, sadly, you know, so, and when you started getting into those, you start getting, a lot of times they will self-report to their advisors or a favorite teacher, who then make the referrals to the social workers and counselors.
Now, is some of that crowd still allowed to be anonymous?
Oh, yeah.
Because I know it was a couple of years ago, that I was very concerned that it would get back to the parents, and then they would be dealing with the ramifications at home.
Yeah, it is, but that's, you know, that's obviously a challenge, because, you know, it's hard. We're an organization that prides ourselves in trying to work openly with parents about everything. You know, we do this as a team approach, but then, you know, so kids are aware of that. They learn in kindergarten. If they do something good, parents get a call. If they do something naughty, their parents get a call. You know, so it's a constant teamwork all the way up through. And then, you know, so that is a little bit of a challenge to get kids to trust, which is why I rely so heavily on my athletic coaches. And I mean, you know, those are the people that can help us get that message to the kid, that speak out to an adult. We're here to help you. We're not here to, you know, judge you or get, you know, sometimes you need somebody to talk to that's not a parent.
Right, especially if there's a parent issue.
Especially if sometimes parents sadly are aware of, or tragically, the cause of the problem.
Melanie, I've got a question.
Yes.
Hey, Ricky.
Hi there, how you doing?
Good to see you.
Have you used any of the COVID money to offset the budget at all? All right.
Yeah, that's a good question. That's a tricky question. I'm not surprised it came from you. So that one, what makes it tricky is the COVID money came with a lot of very detailed rules. One of which was, we absolutely cannot use the COVID money to offset the regular budget. There's maintenance of equity, there's maintenance of effort, there's documentation that if we reduce the budget by using COVID money, we'll lose state subsidy to offset that. We cannot do that. That being said, Rick, you know, there's a lot of rules, there's a lot of loopholes, you know, if you will. So we tried to use the COVID money as best we could, so that when we had opportunities to buy things related to COVID that absolutely helped us get through the pandemic over the last couple of years, but when we had opportunities to buy things that would then reduce the regular budget, we took advantage of that. So, you know, we bought, I wanted to look fewer kids on the buses, so we bought a couple extra buses, which means I had to put less bus leases in the budget. That's one of the reductions. You know, we did a lot of maintenance stuff. You know, I had classrooms that I didn't think there was proper air ventilation, so we put new air handling units in. That's money that can come out of the facilities budget. So all of those things that we did with the COVID money, we kept and again, Rick, we just paid off, we were able to pay off a lot of debt because of doing things like that. And we have to do a lot of auditing, work with our auditors to make sure we followed all the rules, which we did. But yes, I guess the short answer is no, we didn't use it to strictly offset the budget, but yes, I can sit down with you anytime and give you a list of things that I think we did that made it so that we have a 1.57 increase instead of the 8s and 10s that you're seeing in other districts.
Thank you.
Can any of that money, where are we at as far as asbestos removal?
Asbestos removal? Wow, wow, I haven't got that one in a while. I get an asbestos report, and I want to say it is, I don't think it's 100% gone. There's a couple small places in the district where there's, you know, where it's not fragmented or frayed, but it's non-student areas, you know, closets type things. But just about all the asbestos is removed. I can get you, we have a report on that one. That's one of the state reports we have to fill out.
Because I know a couple of years ago, I mean, the goal was that it would be 100%.
Yeah, I have to check. I want to say we did an office at Atwood a couple of years ago, right as the pandemic was starting, and that was like one of the last big ones that was, but I wanted to say there was like, let me follow up with you, just to double check.
Yeah, thank you.
How about volume of students? Are student counts dropping or are they?
This last year, we went up about 100. We were about flat the year before that, so we've ticked up. So I'm, waiting to see what next year's. I do a 5-year population study. I hire a company to do that for me, so I see it. I wasn't expecting 100, but I think it's a lot because of, how we handled the last couple of years and stayed open, and, I think that pulled a lot of people into our district. So our numbers ticked up a little more than I was thinking. I'm getting to the end of that 5-year study, so I'll probably do another one next year, and that gives me a little better projection. I expect us to be at least flat this year, or maybe up a little bit.
And does that, I'm sure that varies by town.
Yes, I think we were up in all towns this year, but yes, it of course does vary a little bit by town.
Yeah, because a few years ago, Sydney was the big one, and we had to move a teacher and like.
Correct. We added this year a teacher at James Bean School, a teacher at China Primary School, and 2 at the high school. We removed a teacher at Pestilensky Middle School, a couple of district-wide, floating teachers, but instructional coaches. So I think overall we were up 1, but.
What's the anticipation of a baby boom from the quarantine time?
That's
Are we gonna be looking at?
Everybody got a dog or pregnant. I am a proud new grandpa of an 8-month-old. So yes, I will say that is a true statement. That is going to happen. 5 years. It's funny you say that though, because today I was talking with the superintendent of Skowhegan, and we were just talking about which grade levels are up and down. 6th grade next year, for some reason, seems to be down for everybody. But we were mentioning, we're going to have a year and a few years where kindergarten is going to be up. So when I do my population study, it is one of the. I'm sure it will be one of the factors. So next year we'll do another population study.
Probably just hit up every town for the number of births.
Well, that's one of the big things they do. They do live births, and that's why it's good for 4 or 5 years, because they do it, and that's when those kids 5 years from start going to school. So once it gets past that, then it's relying on other demographic data, which is valid. So
the food service line item is down 50%.
yeah, with a good question. So we have
in the state because of the.
A lot of that is because of the, it's sort of a byproduct of that. We get free lunches for all kids. Now, we still have to pay our staff, and that doesn't, the free lunch for the kids doesn't help, our expenditures. What that does help is, the more kids get the free lunch, the more every time a kid gets lunch, we get a little more subsidy. So it does help that. We've been able to pay off a lot of nutrition debt, upwards of 600,000 over the last 5 years, a bunch in the last 2 years, probably half of that. So we have that Article 11 allows us to, when most nutrition programs lose money, when the nutrition is sort of like, it's outside of the regular budget. You cannot lose money in nutrition. So if we spend more in nutrition than we take in, because we don't get any state subsidy for nutrition. We only get money for nutrition through the sale of food, and then reimbursement from the state, the federal, from that food. So if we don't get enough money in from the sale of our food program, and we pay more out in employment and benefits, then we lose money, and there has to be money in Article 11 to cover that. Because of the free and reduced lunch, more kids are eating, we're taking in more money. So the amount of money we have to put in the budget to cover our losses is going down. And that might be able to go down more in the next couple of years. Free lunches has been good, free and breakfast has been good for our kids.
I know if we have surplus, like, at the end of the day, I know a lot of school districts have taken on like food insecurity and sending the kids home with a backpack of food over the weekend. And
we
things like
send
that.
Every Friday. I lost count how much. We send home a ton of food every Friday. We have backpack programs at several of our buildings. During the summers, we have free meals for kids. We deliver. It's up there with another one of those issues that kids are
Can't
not
blame if
eating.
they're hungry.
Bad things are gonna happen to
Have we taken the styrofoam out of the schools?
them. I don't know where we are with styrofoam. It's funny, that's one of the things during the pandemic I saw. We had gotten rid of straws, almost all styrofoam. I saw a lot of, I did see a tick up in that during the pandemic. I'm guessing probably that's headed back in the right direction. I loved your questions tonight, by the way. They're really good.
If we'd had this a little earlier, we'd have a lot more. for you.
I know, the hard part is we got our insurance numbers this week, so that, well, we actually still don't have our official numbers. We'll get those Friday this week. Yeah, right, Friday this week, we'll get those numbers. So, but we got the sort of tentative numbers this week. So that just sort of rechanges every employee's, so that changes every article budget. So it's sort of hard to, I hate sending out numbers that I know are wrong.
Well, I'm just saying it's a draft.
It is,
Yeah,
yes,
I
it
mean,
is a draft.
That's definitely workable. I mean, this is thinner than what we used to get. We used to get this book from last year,
Yeah,
and we would have all of the numbers for everything.
yeah. And I have, once the board passes this on Wednesday, I will send this document out to, I'll send it to the town offices, so you can all have copies of the entire budget. But we try not to print multiple copies until the board passes it. I don't want to throw away waste paper and throw it away.
So once your board passes the budget, that's what it is, and then it's either voted up or down.
Voted up or down.
different Towns.
Yep, there's a May, we have a, like a public hearing that one in
Right.
May, and comment, people do that, and, but the real, at the ballots in your towns is June 14th.
Yeah, so there's no way to change it, so, yeah, I guess my question is, after you accept it as the board,
The board passes it, then in the meeting in May, the people that show up at the meeting can change it there.
oh, they can, okay,
And then in June, they can vote it up or down.
okay.
Not up or down, right? But it's voted
Yes or
as,
no?
as a
Yeah.
yes, or if it doesn't pass.
Yes, in June, it's either yes or no, we accept the
Right.
budget or not.
Because I was like, well, we can't increase it.
No, once June 14th hits, you're either saying yes or no.
Now, at the public hearing in May, if there were changes made, just so that everyone's aware, is that where you can simply reduce? Can you increase? Is that,
Depends on how what the board can, our board can decide, do they want to have open or closed warrants? If they're open, they could go either way. If they're closed, I've never seen it up at those meetings. It's, it's a, and I don't think it would. It's good to have open warrants just because it allows you to fix any problems that come up. With, we recommend a budget. We're not going to recommend it to go up at that meeting. That would be, even if it got through that meeting, that would be the end of the trust that we have in the district. So you don't do stuff like that.
I've got a question.
Sarah?
I know you explained this in the last board meeting, but it still is not settled in my head. So can you explain again what is a open budget and what is a closed budget?
Yep, so that question is, so if it's an open warrants, so which means when we go into the May meeting, we say Article 1, and the moderator will read Article 1, which is $18,500,000. And then taxpayer can walk up to the mic and ask questions about it and say, if it's a closed warrant, a taxpayer can only say, I want to redo, I want to approve it as is, or I want to change that, I want to take out $100,000. If it's an open warrant, a taxpayer can go up and say, I want to approve it as is, I want to take out 100, or I want to add 100. They can say up or down.
That happens only, it's open just for that session.
That is correct.
Once it's voted, the budget is frozen.
Correct. After that May meeting, that's it.
It's frozen.
And then the taxpayers get it on June 14th,
And vote.
and that's it. There's no, you can't up, down, or anything. It's just yes or no.
There's no change from there on.
That is it. After, whatever comes out of that May meeting is the number.
Mary?
What is the date of that maybe?
Oh, I knew you were gonna ask me that, and I was trying to remember.
Well, I will need to make a plan.
I will send you an email.
Okay,
It's on the website, but I'll send you an email as well.
okay.
I want to say it's a Thursday, what is it? May 19th, but I'll verify that.
You have a question? What time is that meeting
6 o'clock
and where is it?
at the high school PAC.
Barbara, you had a question?
Yeah, Paul, I was just looking at the expense plan category where teachers go up, the total for teachers goes up 1.5%. And the total for administration goes up 10%. And, you know, I'm just wondering,
We shifted a couple positions into the central office, so they followed the administrative category, so our dean of students positions, so those are new, so we put those into administration. And were those, was that, or is that, okay? So there was just the number of employees in that category increased.
and our teachers, is there a set multi-year contract in terms of?
It's a
wage
three-year
increases?
contract. They have a very good contract. We have a really good group of teachers.
So does everyone renew at the same time or are they staggered through? Is it,
Renew, so every year teachers.
it's a 3-year contract?
Yeah, so each, so the teachers' collective bargaining agreement is up next year. The
Okay.
support staff is up the following year. Transportation, I think we just finished transportation. It was up this year. So each one of our collective bargaining agreements is up at a different time. And they don't always have to, that's one of the things that's part of negotiations, whether it's a 1, 2, or 3-year contract. So, next time we do it, they may do a 1-year contract, so.
We only know 1 year.
Well, the sale of fixed assets, at 5,000 and the proposed revenue,
Yeah,
do we have a plan for something that? is there something we're
usually
selling?
that is, I want to say,
Because it went
is
from
some like
500 to
buses, iPads, like old iPads. We sell a few, you know, when the kids are done with them, which they've been through quite a bit by then, but we do sell a few, stuff like that.
Okay, because it was like 500, and then to 5,000.
Yeah, we've been selling, the technology has been something that has ticked up in the last couple of years. Sale of old technology.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Does anybody else have any questions for Mr. Gartley?
And you can send me questions, and you know, if you have questions you want to talk about more, I'm happy to come out and meet with any of you, or and if you want to send them to Anthony, I'll come out and chat with him too. So
Okay,
I love doing it.
I don't see that anyone has, is there anyone in the audience that has any questions for Mr. Gartley? Let me see.
Nobody's raising their hand.
All right, seeing none, thank you, Carl.
Oh, please, thank you guys. This is absolutely my pleasure.
No, I have
Oh,
something to say.
thanks.
I want to really thank Mr. Garvey, keep Warren and Millie for taking the time, this beautiful afternoon outside, being here to do this. I really appreciate you came to the town and opened the books and shared all this information with the town for next year.
Oh.
I really appreciate it.
Oh, my pleasure. Belgrade has always treated me extremely well. I love coming out when I get my invitation, so thank you.
Thank
My
you.
pleasure.
I really appreciate it. Well,
Oh, please, God, thank you.
All right,
Enjoy
thanks.
the rest of your
Thank you.
meeting. Sorry, I have to be here.
Thank you.
Take care, everybody.
All right, next up on the agenda is discussion and consideration of June 14 warrant articles. So the first one is to reduce the number of Board of Parks and Recreation members. So I'm gonna open that item and I'm gonna just read down through this memo. The Board of Parks and Recreation has for some time had difficulty convening a quorum for its meetings. This is due in part to the BPR having 10 members plus 2 alternates. In 2002, the town's voters approved a warrant article to increase the size of the BPR from 8 members and 2 alternates to its present configuration. Finding people to fill those 10 or 12 slots has been a challenge, which in turn has often prevented the BPR from having a 6-member quorum. The March 28 meeting again failed to generate a quorum with only 4 members attending. Had the board's membership been 7 members, the 4 attending members would have been adequate to conduct a meeting and transact business. The members present agree that having 7 members would make achieving a full board and gathering a quorum easier. Because the board is having trouble convening a quorum, there's no recommendation to present to you other than the request of the Board of Parks and Recreation Chair Linda Bacon that the select board consider placing a warrant article before voters during the June 14th school election to reduce the size of the BPR to 7 members. The warrant article must be approved 60 days in advance of the election. So I will take a motion to open that item.
Second.
And second, that item is open for discussion. And Miss Linda, I believe we're turning the floor to you. Have a
Thank
good night,
you.
ladies. Thank you.
Thank you.
So yeah, maybe once a year we actually have a quorum, because the quorum is by definition 6 members. And very often we don't have all 10 seats filled. So, you know, 2 or 3 people are out, we don't come anywhere near it. So this is a way to improve functionality of the Board of Parks and Rec.
Do you have a full board now or not?
No,
No,
7 members.
7 members now.
And I have a question about the need for alternates. Because then, how many committees have alternates? Because the library has 7 members with no alternates. And I don't know.
Quite a few do, actually. The planning board does, the appeals board does. There are ones that do, and of course, I don't have a list in front of me. But yeah, they have alternates that can just fill in.
Right.
In
I
the
mean,
event
I understand with
somebody-
those,
Right.
with those committees. But, you know, with, is the transfer station, do you have alternates? No.
We have no alternates. I think the road committee has alternates, but they don't have a.
I mean, I would just
committee right
question
now.
whether
Whether you
you would
need to have
even need to
alternate.
have alternates. I mean, if you want to have alternates, fine, but if you can't get 6 people, how are you gonna get 9? I don't know.
I mean, the budget committee doesn't have alternates.
The alternate
cemetery
doesn't
doesn't.
Really considered the whole.
Yeah, I mean, I think that the
Nine, it's
more
not.
judiciary type committees, the
Right,
appeals
it's-
board, the planning board, you know, they're the ones that have alternates because they need to, you know, decide.
Do you feel the need for alternates, Linda?
We haven't come near having alternates for so long. that- I mean,
Why would you be an alternate if you could be a regular member and you can't fill your members?
Yeah.
It seems like it's,
Well, so
Adding
say in
a layer.
2002, I think we had more participation. We had,
there was a lot of
there was a lot of,
interest.
and there was
There
a
were
lot of
students.
cross between
There was
K-List
student
and,
alternates.
I only got on board in like 05 or 06.
Yeah.
But there was a lot of interest in being on the board when the rec
We
center
built the rec.
first opened.
Well, I mean, it probably doesn't really matter. So I don't want to make a big deal out of it, but I,
Want to get rid of it?
and what is the thought with everybody about having student representation?
well, the library has 1 youth representative
Right,
who's
and
a
that's what I'm
Metropolitan High
thinking
School
is
student.
perhaps with the Board of Parks and Recreation, it would be a good idea to have a youth representative.
Yeah, but it's a non-voting member. But it's still good input. You know, it's been very helpful enough for the library to have a youth, and we also have a seasonal representative. And they're both non-voting.
We could have those 2 instead of alternates.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna say that seems
yeah,
like that might be a
make more
good,
sense.
a good
Yeah.
thought.
You need to run that by the Board of Parks and Rec and see what
I
their
don't think
thoughts
so.
are. No.
You haven't had
You're like,
time to-
Melanie, I can't convene them all. Can we conduct this by a text for that?
I don't
So-
think there'd be any objections.
Okay, so if we change the language to say, to see if the town will vote to decrease the size of the boards and of Parks and Rec from 7
10
members, from 10 members to 7.
Well,
Adding 2 non-voting, adding a non-voting student member and a non-voting seasonal student
Right.
representative and seasonal representative, something like that.
That sounds reasonable.
I mean, that, it works for the library, you know, and it's a similar type of committee in that it.
well, I think a seasonal one might make sense because there's so many seasonal people that access, certainly the camp program. A lot of kids that are
pickleball,
there.
And pickleball.
And pickleball now. Pickleball's big. I didn't realize there were so many people playing pickleball. But if you have a seasonal one, then especially, you know, if you have, I don't know, I know more grandparents that have their grandchildren going that seasonal, to camp in the summer. Might be someone there that would be a non-voting, a nice voice to listen to. I don't know.
Maybe come up with some nice ideas for social activities.
Mhm.
Do you want to read that through one more time? Because this is going to be the wording that
I
will
know.
show up on that article.
Well, if you need to reduce it from 10 members with 2 alternates, because that's what it is now,
Right.
to 7 members with 2 non-voting
There's
members,
2 non-voting members.
colon or
With two-
semicolon,
The 2 additional non-voting members, so that it's not that 2 of the 7.
with 2, right,
Adding to.
adding 2 non-voting members, semicolon, one youth representative and 1 seasonal representative.
Yeah, I don't know if the sum is the right thing. A regular colon would.
Would a regular
Yeah,
couple do
regular
it?
column would be better.
Why don't you say 7 voting members and 2 non-voting members
Right.
consisting of.
Right.
Consisting of, that would do
One
it, yeah.
seasonal and one-
Consisting of a youth
With
A
two
youth
non-voting
member and a
members.
seasonal member, or a seasonal resident, is that what you need to say? Or a seasonal member, yes,
Seasonal resident.
seasonal resident member.
I just want somebody coming in from
Yeah.
some other town.
Yeah, I don't know, it's just,
Yeah, seasonal resident, sounds good.
Mhm.
What do you think? You look like you're puzzling on that
Well,
one.
the
Linda.
seasonal and the resident, those 2 words have multiple definitions. And in one case, I can see where they would actually flash.
Right.
So seasonal taxpayer, maybe?
Well, just a season, I'm trying to think of how it is in the letter. It's just a seasonal resident. Because any seasonal resident is a taxpayer.
Well,
Not
not
necessarily.
necessarily.
Yeah, not necessarily, it could be a renter.
Yeah.
But I mean, if it's non-voting, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it
As long as
doesn't
it's somebody who's coming in.
As long as they show
Seasonal.
up.
we could get
Seasonal representative, a youth representative and a seasonal representative.
That sounds good. We'll have Mary read that back. She's gonna have a hand cramp by the end of this meeting.
Yeah, yeah. You already read the whole thing, to see if the town will vote to decrease the size of the Board of Parks and Recreation members from 10 members with 2 alternates to 7 members and 2 non-voting members consisting of a youth representative and a seasonal representative. This article will replace Article 56 of the 2002 town warrant.
So 7 voting members.
7 voting members.
There's 7 voting members,
Yeah.
2 non.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think the word voting
Yeah,
was not before 7 members or not associated with 7 members.
7, it wasn't in previously.
No, it wasn't previously, to 7 members.
So 7 voting. members.
7 members and
Well,
2
I think it's
non-voting.
understood.
Not
Ann has a
necessarily.
question.
Would it make sense?
The
to
other
say
2 are
7 members
non-voting.
Plus 2 non-voting members? And that
Sure.
way it really,
And
as
then
opposed to the. and-
shows that
and
it's an
makes it a little
Yeah.
Weaselly. Yeah, well, I was trying to think of it.
Yeah, that's what I had in mind.
But if
Yeah.
you say 7 regular members or 7 voting members plus 2 non-voting members,
Right.
then that really.
Yeah, consisting of,
Yeah.
yeah,
Right.
yeah, that would do it.
Clarifies it.
Consisting of 1 youth representative and 1 seasonal representative.
Does that sound good to everyone?
I second that.
All right, so
So
any
was there
further
a motion on
discussion?
that?
Yeah, I think you made the motion.
Oh, I made the motion, she seconded, okay.
All right, is there any more discussion? All right, seeing none, Rick?
Yep.
Ann,
Yes.
Barbara,
Yes.
Carol?
Yes,
All right, 5 yeses.
maybe you'll be able to have a quorum.
Yes.
Hallelujah.
Months. Wouldn't that be novel?
Thank you.
Thanks, Linda. Have a good night. All right, next up on the agenda, we have to join the main
Okay, do you
public.
need to do anything more about setting the date for the public hearing on
we
the
do.
referendum
that's the
question? Is
second
that
part of it.
formality? That we have to do
We
something?
have to set that public hearing for the next April meeting. Because it has to be, I have to have the ballots ready.
And what
30
else is
days
gonna, what
prior
else is
to
gonna
the
be on,
election.
what else is gonna be on the ballot? The school board? The school vote on the 14th?
School board that, and possibly this
The
PERS,
school, the state,
and possibly this.
possibly Maine PERS. if you
But in
approve
terms of
that.
what, in terms of what we would have to, is this the only item that we would need a public hearing on?
No,
Okay,
Okay. All right, so I'll make a motion that we set the date for a public hearing on the referendum questions for April 19th. Second, start at 6:30 PM. All right, moved and seconded. Is there any more discussion on that?
Barbara, did.
What's that?
Did you second it?
Yeah.
I thought you made the motion.
I did.
And she
Melanie
seconded
made
it.
the motion.
And I said,
Barbara
is there any more
seconded it.
discussion?
Oh,
and I said no. What is it?
nothing.
Whatever.
I'm trying to create trouble.
Okay, Dan,
Yes.
Rick.
Yes.
All right, Barbara,
Yes,
Carol.
Yes.
All right, 5 yeses. We will open the next meeting with a public hearing. All right, so now we have next on the agenda is to join the Maine Public Employees Retirement System, or Maine PERS for its full-time firefighters. That has to be approved by a vote of the legislative body. So. Let me see. We want to read through this?
Well, I can just give you a little insight into it. Something I was never made aware of, talking to the state. I said, I must have missed it, went back to my emails. So when they went to apply for it, they said, well, let me see the wording of the article. Even though the budget got approved, they sent it to them, they didn't approve the article. So that's where this is coming from.
So we have to.
So
have a
apparently
second
the
article.
rules of what it has to say. Which we found out. So local districts that are municipalities, it has to have the approval of the participation, the benefit plans that are applied. Excluded employees are required. And the name and title of the person authorized to sign the contract on behalf of the district. Which either be select board or I think was written in the town office, named town manager or select board chair. Whichever one you guys choose. The other thing I want to add into that, there's an option to buy back years. If the firefighters want to and the town wants to, and instead of having doing this again a year from now, at least like to put that in there and have it so it authorizes the select board. If you guys say no, we come up with figures, you guys say no, and it's done. So when I'm talking with the state today or yesterday, she recommended. Can you read the one you have right now? What's written up?
So what
I
we
just want
have,
to make sure I get the same.
all right, so what we have is I move to place on the June 14, 2022 ballot a warrant article to allow the town of Belgrade to join the Maine Public Employees Retirement System as a participating local district effective July 1, 2022, and to offer special plan 3C to its full-time firefighters and emergency medical services employees who work at least 40 hours per week, 52 weeks per year. To exclude all other employees, including its elected/appointed officials, from participating in Maine PERS. To allow its eligible employees who are currently employed by the town on July 1, 2022, who elect to join Maine PERS to purchase credit for 5 years of prior service upon the employee's full payment of all associated costs. The town will not participate in the purchase of prior service, and so employees are responsible for paying the full liability associated with the service. To adopt the provisions of 5 MRS subsection 18252-C as enacted by PL 2021. Chapter 286 is allowed by Maine PERS Rule Chapter 803 for its non-participating employees with optional membership who previously declined to participate in Maine PERS, eligible employees, and to comply with the following requirements. Beginning in 2022, to annually offer eligible employees who have been employed for less than 5 years
Is this the whole article?
This is the.
No,
whole
this
thing.
is not the whole
No, no,
article.
you-
The whole article is.
This is
on
the
I
motion.
think that's just
backside.
information.
No,
Right.
this is the
Yeah.
motion.
No, that's the motion
that's-
that they have to make to put the warrant article, which is on the next page,
Oh.
that starts
sorry.
out.
You were going on. and on.
Additionally-
I'm like looking at mine, I'm like, I don't have all that.
Yeah.
Well, because I was like, okay, because it says you have to
Because
recommend.
nobody's
So
ever,
that's
part
part
of the
of the whole
motion.
motion. that
Okay,
has to
well,
be
I'm
made.
just
nobody's
gonna-
gonna read all
I'm gonna
that.
say I've already said it. Okay, so the actual, are you looking for the actual warrant article language to see if the
Yeah.
town will vote to join the main public employees retirement system as a participating local district effective July 1, 2022 for its full-time firefighters under special plan 3C with a limited period open enrollment provision. All other employees are excluded from participation at this time. The town will allow firefighters who join to purchase credit for past employment with the town and authorizes town manager or select board chair to sign the agreement between the town and made public employees retirement system.
So the one, so we should add in there is right after, the town will allow purchase of credit for firefighters past employment with the town. The town authorizes the select board to make an agreement with the firefighters regarding how the town will share in the cost of this purchase. That way we don't have to go back to a different.
So where is that?
No, I'm adding that if we can.
Do you have it in writing? Okay, all right. And just so we can add it.
So the buy-in adds cost to the town.
It would, but it'd be.
Okay,
you
'cause
guys have to
the paperwork over here says it's no cost to the town, so that's why I was wondering.
Well, yeah, that's why I don't know where that part came from, but this was the article I was reading. I mean, it doesn't, if you guys say it won't, like, say we come to you next year and say, you know, we want to buy back 3 years or whatever, they can afford to buy back their share and offer it, see if you guys want to put in your share, you can either vote yes or no. If you say no, then that's, well, it gives you that option. Otherwise, you'd have to go back to,
To the voters.
Right, because it'd be a budget item, right?
which we can do that way too, but it was just, she had, at the state, had said that is what some towns do, that she had that word.
Just gives a chance to the board of select persons to negotiate with the employees.
It doesn't give me the authority to just approve it and put it in my budget. You guys would have to.
Do you want a copy of what he's got?
Yes.
Yeah.
So we can
Yeah.
visually see it, because we
Because over
can't
here-
even.
Yeah, because over here, it says the town will not participate in the
Right.
purchase
Well, that's-
of prior services.
Yeah, and I
Some
don't
employees
know,
are
I mean, this is
responsible.
just the article,
So,
so I don't
So
have that
that's
whole
not even
thing.
the same.
This is the article. That's what
Yeah.
she was just,
Okay. Yeah, but where's the other piece that you want to add in,
I think,
in the blue? Okay.
And is
I
it
mean, in that somewhat of.
in the part that Melanie read, it says full-time firefighters and emergency medical services employees. And then in the language of the ballot, it only says full-time firefighters. Do we need to add in
You probably
emergency?
should say firefighter. and EMS. I mean, you're hiring, they're coming as both. We're hiring a firefighter / EMT.
But in the
EMS.
future, we might hire just an EMT, and then we wouldn't have, if we put it in, we wouldn't have to come back and change.
Yeah.
5
I
years
mean, you
from
could put
now,
it That way, but most likely it's, yeah, I mean, just make it simplified. for future.
Then it's there, and we don't have to worry about it in the future.
I just wish we'd known about this before.
I
I was like, man, did I miss this? So I went through all my emails. I'll just get it voted through and then we'll be all set. And you might want to change the wording around. That was,
Vote to join the main public employees retirement system as a participating local district effective July 1, 2022 for its full-time firefighters and
Emergency
emergency medical
services employees,
okay,
right?
yes. Under special plan 3C with a limited period open enrollment provision, all of their employees are excluded from participation. The town will allow the purchase of credit for the firefighters' past employment with the town. The town authorizes the select board to make an agreement with the firefighters regarding how the town will share the cost for this purchase. The town authorizes
That's the time to turn, construct the time.
That's the way they put it for wording.
Well, so I think probably my only hesitation with that is it's essentially would put the town in a position of possibly purchasing retirement previously, 5 years past for a segment of the employees, but the remainder of the employees in the town are prohibited from participating with that.
Yeah, I can understand that. And so this is something I probably should have done when we first hired our first full-time position. We didn't do that, but being in competition with everybody else that's hiring right now, it's just, yeah.
And it really only affects a couple of people.
If you were a big department, it'd be a lot more.
I can tell
And it
you,
would definitely be, if you guys approved it, or if you didn't want to do it yourselves, you want to put it back to vote. It would be a shared cost. So it wouldn't be just, they would have to contribute to.
So does this allow the town to say, we don't want to pay anything? And the
On
employee
the-
would have to
on
pay
the
100%?
buyback, yes.
On the buyback? I was just reading it saying.
And that would be, the way it's worded right now, I believe, I'm no English major, that you guys, you could vote it down.
Right.
Select board.
I mean, it's just basically like you guys negotiate a contract.
Right.
The same thing.
Right.
You're negotiating a contract with the firefighter and EMTs.
And do we have an idea of what that cost would be?
So, well, one only has 1 year. so you can do one, two.
Yeah.
The other one's 7 years, but if we only do the 5.
And if
It was a
somebody-
percentage.
Yeah, I mean, if somebody says to me, what's the
And-
dollar amount?
Because
for that
because
gonna
I
be?
first put in the percentage. Because the town will pay 13 and the employee pays 9, and I put that in there, and they were like, you don't want to do that, because that's not a true figure, because it goes by what the figures were the years past, which was less,
Oh,
so it's hard to calculate.
Oh, I
And
see
mean,
here it
I'm
is.
sure,
current percentage 13,497.
yeah, that's what
Yeah.
it is right now. When we, if we do approach that next year, we'd have those exact figures, and that's what you feel to say yes or no.
And the other thing I would recommend, Dan, I even talked to Dan about this, where this is going, instead of July 1st, but I wouldn't penalize your employees because it was budgeted from January 1st to December 31st, and the voters have paid for this budget. So you should at least buy back the 6 months of this year.
And I think there was a question, because open enrollment's only a certain time. I think you read that in the part you said. the open
Right,
enrollment
open
was
enrollment
when?
is someplace, yeah.
Pretty sure.
September 1 through November 1.
Right,
Yes, that's the
Yeah.
problem, it's only an open enrollment.
but because it's a new program, they're eligible to come in, and then anyone, if they don't, they then have to go to the open enrollment period.
Yeah, I would think it would be, you'd be able to start.
Yeah.
I'd just like to have the opportunity at some, next year, if we just, at least to bring some figures and give the opportunity, and if they get voted out, and that's.
Mhm.
Yeah, that makes sense. All right, does anybody else have any more questions? Nope. All
Not
right,
I.
who wants to read this motion?
And get it right.
It's written.
I just,
So
I
in
think,
part of that motion, there is highlighted named town manager or named select board. Do we have select board chair? I don't think you need the name in there for the
No.
article. You can
and
just
does it have
name
to be
the
either
position.
or can it be both? Because one of the things that we were talking about is maybe making sure, like we used to have, if the town manager signs something, the select board signs as well. So there's 2 signatures in case we are out of town manager.
See, I think that's what it was.
But if for some reason you didn't have a town manager, let's say the town manager quit, left, got run over by a train,
You did have an acting town manager
You'd
like
have
Mary is right
somebody
now.
who would take
be
that.
acting,
Yeah.
as long as they
Yeah, I
take
think they're-
acting.
Yeah, I don't know why you couldn't have. I think they were trying to, you pick one of the.
Make it
other, but I don't know
easier.
why
One or
you
the
can't
other.
have both.
Yeah, or you could put vice chair, chair or vice chair too. Either way. So.
Put town
I just wanna
manager
make-
slash acting town manager, chair slash vice chair. That way you got four
Somebody
people to
give us
choose
a-
from.
Somebody
Yes.
signs.
Town manager or chair.
Sure.
That's,
That's
we don't
fine
need
with
the
me.
names in there.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
Town manager or.
But I don't even have a problem if you want 2 people to sign it. I mean, I prefer.
Right.
More people to look at it than less.
Right,
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's.
Yeah.
all right, so we're
So
gonna.
to authorize town manager and select board chair?
Just be and instead of or, yeah.
I think if you're spending taxpayers' money, that's our job. We should be the ones signing for that. In fact, I think that's the law, but
So are you saying, Ricky, that it would need to be signed by the select board and not the town manager?
yes. At least it's gotta be approved by us, and maybe we can give the authority for somebody else to sign it, but it's gotta go through the board.
So that, I think that's, so what it says, Rick, is to see, the town authorizes the select board to make an agreement with the firefighters regarding how the town will share in the cost for this purchase. The town authorizes the town manager and the select board chair to sign the agreement. So it looks like it has to go to the select board first for approval,
Right,
and then that's just allowing the actual signature of what was approved by the select board. So that would still go through the board first. Does that make sense that way?
Right, but the voters are approving to
The,
join the main peers.
yeah.
right,
Right.
right.
Right, yeah, we got 2 different motions here.
Well, it's kinda all in,
This
it's
motion
in
has to
one.
be in the minutes, the first page has to be in the minutes is what this individual is saying.
All right, I'll read it.
Well, do you
Nice.
have to?
I stopped you, I'm sorry.
That's okay. Yeah, all right.
Oh, I see. That's, oh, I didn't realize it's 2 separate.
It's 2 separate
It's 2
things.
separate things. So the
Yeah.
first one is to allow the town to join.
Right,
Mhm.
The
They want to
system.
know that the board voted to approve to move this forward to the
Right,
June 14th
okay.
ballot. And then the
then we have
article
to
is
approve the
second.
article.
Even though the budget's already been approved. Over here.
So can you pick up reading where you left off? The second is beginning in 2022.
All right, beginning in 2022, to annually offer eligible employees who have been employed for less than 5 years, and in 2022, eligible employees who had reached 5 years of employment between November 1, 2021 and November 1, 2022. The opportunity to join main peers, I was calling it main pers,
Yeah.
on a prospective basis during an open enrollment period from September 1 through November 1, and to provide main peers with documentation of each election made by eligible employees under this provision, and to withhold employee contributions for employees who join under this provision on an after-tax basis, and to remit them to main peers. To authorize the town manager and the select board chair to sign the agreement between the town and the main public employees retirement system.
So that's the, you're moving that, right?
That's my motion.
I second.
All right, any more questions?
Substituting the different language into this that you read though. From the new part. Because up here it says we're not gonna pay anything.
All right,
State that's called PERS.
this part, okay.
So what are we taking out?
So out of the motion, we will eliminate in bullet 3. Put parentheses right up, the town will not participate in the purchase of prior service, and so employees are responsible for paying the full liability associated with the service.
So we're taking that portion out.
I'm taking that portion out for.
But you're adding in
and
the language over here about
Hmm.
the cost. That's what that's what changed.
Right.
That changed to
But if
that.
we take out that we're not.
So if you take that section out, that says the town will not participate in the purchase of prior service, then we can add. The town authorizes the select board to make an agreement with the firefighters regarding how the town will share the cost for this purchase.
But that's for the
That's for
warrant.
the second.
That's for the second part.
But it still has to match what you read.
Yeah.
You
Oh,
can't
yeah,
have
it still
two
has to
different
match.
things.
Yeah.
If you put it in no,
Right,
then that means that's how it has to be a vote.
right.
So you want all of that in the blue, that one sentence, right?
Yeah,
Mhm.
add it to the motion.
Okay.
Okay, and delete the sentence that the town will not participate.
I got
Right.
that. Yeah.
All right. All right, so it's two.
So are you voting
Okay,
on
so
it?
then we need the motion approved as written. So that's
As-
the motion on the first part. So I'll make that motion.
Second.
All right, any further discussion on that motion? All right, seeing none. Dan,
Yes.
Barbara,
Yes,
Carol,
Yeah,
Rick?
Yep,
All right, 5 yeses. So we will approve moving that forward now. I'm making a motion that we use this language for the actual warrant article. To see if the town of Belgrade will vote to join the Maine Public Employees Retirement System, Maine PERS, as a participating local district effective July 1, 2022, for its full-time firefighters and emergency medical services employees.
So emergency medical assistance employees.
service.
Oh,
Yeah.
Services.
it's over under the
employees.
first bullet under the, on the other page, Mary. Medical service.
Emergency
employee.
medical services employees.
okay, all right, thank you.
Under Special Plan 3C with a limited period open enrollment provision.
Right.
All other employees are excluded from participation at this time. The town will allow firefighters who join to purchase credit for past employment with the town and authorizes the select board to make an agreement with the firefighters regarding how the town will share in the cost for this purchase. The town authorizes the town manager and the select board chair to sign the agreement between the town and the Maine Public Employees Retirement System. That's my motion.
To jointly sign the agreement? So that
Yes, so
one
the
can't
select,
sign.
no, so the select board will make the decision and then the two of them. will
Right,
sign
it's just
it
I
and
wanted to
move
make,
forward.
make
To
it
jointly-
clear
to
that both of them
jointly
to
sign.
jointly sign it.
So you
just
want to
one
put
of
out the
them can't
word
sign
in
it.
jointly?
To jointly sign.
Okay,
I thought, I think it's, then it's clear we want both signatures. I second your revised motion.
okay.
Okay, and to place that on the June 14th
Yes. June
special
14th,
referendum.
Special referendum ballot. Yes, that's the rest of my motion, Mary.
Okay, all right, I got that.
And did you second that?
I second that. I do.
All right, is there any more discussion? Seeing none. Ricky,
yes.
Ann,
Yes.
Barbara,
Yes,
Carol.
Yes.
All right, 5 yeses.
Thank you.
With a public hearing to be held on that one as well.
And the public hearing will be held.
so do we need
Did
to,
you
do
say
we need
I'll
to vote,
I'll add it all.
do we need to vote on that too?
Well, I'll add it all
Public hearing.
into the motion.
Motion. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, next up, we have discussion and consideration of annual lease agreement with the Friends of the Belgrade Public Library. I'll take motion over that item.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All right, so. the
Was there
proposed
any
lease
changes?
agreement- No changes.
I didn't have the old one to go by, so I didn't know.
No, so it hasn't been changed from what we approved in 2021. Or
Okay.
2022. All right, so I make a motion. What was that, Rick?
If that's the case, I'll make the motion, we accept it.
I will second it. Any further discussion? All right, seeing none. Ricky?
Yes.
Dan?
Yes.
Barbara? Yes. Carol?
Yeah,
All right, 5 yeses. I was all ready to be like, Ricky. All right, next up, we have discussion and consideration of awarding bid. Awarding the bid for the annual tax anticipation note.
Make the motion, we open that.
second,
And seconded, that is open for discussion. Okay, so we received 3 bids for our annual tax anticipation note. It's kind of here, Dan, there's this page in front of it.
It's printed front and back.
Yeah, you may have pulled it up there.
Obviously hooked in with the library
It's
stuff.
on the back of the library.
Yeah, they were trying to save paper.
I was just looking for a divider.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of a no-brainer who to go with.
All right, we received 3 bids for our annual tax anticipation note. The low bid is 1.9% submitted by Bangor Savings Bank, and Muscogum Bank bid 2.11, and Camden National 2.19. Rather than receiving the full $2 million in a lump sum, we'll draw from the funds only as needed. This will serve 2 purposes. One, it will be a test to see whether the town needs a TAN moving forward, or whether the fund balance is healthy enough to safely make that unnecessary. 2, it will reduce the interest cost we pay, that is, rather than paying interest on the full $2 million, we'll pay only for the amount we draw from. As in years past, we'll seek to repay what we draw as quickly as possible to further reduce the interest cost.
Jeff Sutton has a question.
I'll make the motion, we go with Bangor Savings.
All right. Hang right on, Rick, we've got Jack.
Jeff. Jack, you have to unmute yourself. We can't hear you.
you're still muted, Jack.
Can you click on it?
There we
So
go.
if you
Yeah.
click on it, you can unmute.
In approaching the decision of if, when, and how much to borrow for the TAN, does the town Board of Select Persons have before it a good chart of the starting point of the available cash, the month-by-month change in available cash based on the anticipated costs and anticipated revenues for the year? Because the answer to whether and how much to borrow for TAN would jump out from that information.
No,
So we do not.
we do not.
But can we get something like that started? Can Nick do that, Mary?
Oh, yeah, he can tell you what their balances are. Basically, he's talking about the available cash that we have
Right.
at hand. And then the monthly, month by month, Nick should be able to calculate that out fairly easily. I mean, our biggest payments right now are the school and the snow plowing, and snow plowing will come to an end. Our payment schedule with them. So with the
When's
school, we
coming?
already know is $558,000+.
When's coming?
County comes due in September. So, and that's a big bill.
Is it on one lump sum of a county, one
So
thing?
you could pay it up to 30 days late. And yeah, we usually pay it in one lump sum.
So we don't have that yet, Jack, but I think that that is a good idea. Maybe if we look at the last, 2020 was kind of that was an interesting year, but how many years data do you think, Jack?
See, Jack.
It's frozen up here.
Are you there, Jeff?
Are you talking to me?
Yeah,
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 so how many years data do you think? Are you thinking like 2021 data and 2022 data? So then as we try this. to see
No,
how it-
I was thinking of just looking at this year, looking what's been appropriated at the town meeting, what the anticipated revenues are, and what the starting point is at the beginning of the year, and what the projected end point should be at the end of the year, and just put that all in a chart and see when you need to borrow money for the TAN to cover the anticipated outgo, if you do it all. Because it has been open to discussion at the budget committee meetings, how much to borrow and whether to borrow at all for the TAN.
So that's something Nick could put together for us to have.
But I think to put that together is pretty easy to do. And it would be a good tool to do from one year to the next.
I think so too.
Just don't think you ought to wait too long on this because interest is going up.
Right,
Yeah.
but I think what so Jack, you're not saying not to approve the TAN, what you're saying is, let's start collecting some
Let's
data
try
to
it.
see if we try this approach where we don't take the whole amount in the beginning. When do we anticipate we might need to take money from the TAN? Is that what you're saying? Like not to approve the TAN at all?
Well, I think it would be a pretty easy thing to put together because you know when the big expenditures are. It doesn't have to be to the last dollar or the last penny. The big expenditures are for the school district and the salaries that the town pays, and the rest of it is relatively small. Interest payments have to be paid, and you know when they have to be paid. On the outgo side, you know what the starting point is from the audited figures. You know, you can project what the end point should be, somewhere about what the starting point is, maybe with a little bit more. And what the revenue stream is coming in from other sources, from the licenses and fees and registrations and so forth, and the payments by the state to the town. You can put this together pretty fast and see where the curve dips way down before the taxes are assessed and go out and start coming in. And that's when you need to have the TAN money with some reserve, because you can't do it to the penny.
Right,
But
but if we,
with that curve before you, with that data before you, it seems to me that the answer to how much and when and what to do about the TAN would jump out.
That's exactly what we're gonna be doing by doing it this way, because we're not gonna be pulling the TAN money out unless we need it. We're not gonna be paying
Right, and
any
then paying
interest unless we
interest
pull
on
it out.
right,
And right
so
now-
if we approve it and lock in the rate now before they go up, but not take the money until we actually need it.
Right, because
So that would track
And in the meantime, Nick can keep track
of where we're
of
coming.
the money, how it's coming in and out.
Yeah.
Right.
Should be able to.
Should be, yeah, I think Jack's right, it'll be straight, it'll jump out with knowing what we have coming.
And your bid package was put out with a motion, or so with a date and everything, so there's not really an option.
And really, if we do a TAN, even if we do a TAN every year, if we never pull it out, we never pay any interest.
Right,
Honestly, we always do a TAN in February, and latest date is March. And so it's getting late. Our revenues are low, they're very, very low. Yeah.
so we just need to approve this with these dates so we can get it locked in.
This is gonna be part of the motion.
Yeah.
Right there, the second page there.
All right, so Ricky, so you made a motion
Yes.
to accept the 1.9 0% submitted by Bangor Savings Bank for the TAN.
Yes.
We'll second that.
Are we approving this language of
So-
proposed vote?
Ricky, you have the paperwork, right?
Yes.
Are you motioning the whole proposed vote on the second page?
So, in
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yes.
well, I know, I'm,
All right, so I'll read it in, Ricky, just so that we
I
have.
don't
it.
have the second page.
What's that? The second page is the one voted by the select board for the town of Belgrade, Maine as follows.
I don't have that.
Okay, well, I'll read it and then you'll have it. Voted one, that under and pursuant to Title 30-A, Section 5771 of the Maine Revised Statutes as amended and supplemented. There be and hereby is authorized the issuance of $2 million principal amount of tax anticipation note of the town in anticipation of the receipt of taxes for the municipal fiscal year, which commenced January 1, 2022 and ends December 31, 2022. 2, said note shall be dated April 11, 2022, shall mature on December 16, 2022, shall be signed by the treasurer and countersigned by the chair of the select board. Shall bear interest at a rate of 1.90% per annum, shall be payable at 24 Hamlin Way in Bangor, Maine, and otherwise be in such form and bear such details as the signers may determine. 3, that said note is hereby sold and awarded to Bangor Savings Bank. 4, said note is hereby designated a qualified tax exempt obligation of the town for the 2022 calendar year pursuant to the Internal Revenue Code of 1986. 5, that all things heretofore done and all action heretofore taken by the town, its municipal officers and agents, and the authorization of said note are hereby ratified, approved, and confirmed, and the treasurer and chair are each hereby authorized to take any and all action necessary or convenient to carry out the provisions of this voting, including delivering said note against payment thereafter.
Therefore.
Therefore.
okay.
Thereafter.
Good job.
All right, so that is motion by Ricky and seconded by Melanie. Is there any further discussion?
Yes. Because we're proposing to draw the funds as needed rather than receiving the full $2 million in a lump sum, that's not mentioned under this. It's just, it's authorized the issuance of $2 million principal amount. Do we need to say issuance of up to $2 million principal amount?
I think the note is for 2 million, it's just how we take it.
Okay, okay,
All right, any
So
more
we need to
questions?
authorize the full amount.
got it, got it.
All right, seeing none. Ricky,
Yes.
Ann,
Yes.
Barbara,
Yes,
Carol,
Yes,
and 5 yeses. All right, then we have discussion and consideration of the installation of internet service at the North Belgrade Community Center. Take a motion.
so
second,
Moved and seconded. That is open for discussion.
So may I begin?
Yes.
All right, so this, we had not even thought of this. It's not budgeted for, like I said. I did have Nick look into it. It's all ready to go. There's a $99 cost for them to come out and hitch it up, and then $72.98 a month. So we wouldn't begin till May. So I prorated the amount that total budget $682.84. It is not currently in the budget, and
Now, Mary, would that be a Wi-Fi connection
so
that folks in North Belgrade could access from the parking lot, much like they do from the
I
library or the
think they
rec center?
could. I mean, it serves a couple of purposes for that, and we have our movie night coming up, which we thought we could use a hotspot, but we know that hotspots are fade in and out, and I know from personal experience that the use of my cell phone up there, and I've talked to a couple of others who have used it, the service is very poor. So, you know, if this doesn't work this year, that's fine. We're gonna move into doing something else. We'll still have movie night. But we thought this would be ideal if we could do this, because we're willing to use our own personal farm accounts for the movies.
We should have had Linda here to ask if it's okay if we take that out of the recreation budget.
Yeah, it seems it makes more sense to come out of the recreation budget than.
Do you want
Maintenance,
to table it to the
facilities
next
maintenance.
meeting? Till it could go to their group for discussion. They won't meet till the fourth Monday of April. They will meet.
So does Chris think he's got money in his budget for this, or are we gonna run him short and it's gonna be an overdraft at the end of the year? Does anybody know that? I know there
So
isn't,
I do know that the facility maintenance budget was cut from what it was last year. I've already talked to Nick about it, and it has been cut, so it could potentially overrun Chris's budget for facilities.
So, but it would make sense to take it out of the recreation budget if
Well, you
they're amicable. Bruce?
get two other capital reserves, you could take that out. You could take it out of the facility maintenance capital reserve, or you could take it out of the Dalton, or whatever the Dalton rentals. Capital reserve. money.
No, that's all the same reserve.
Okay.
We've had a discussion, it's the same, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I know
There's-
that,
there's
but
money. There's
Because
probably-
if you get your food pantry, that has nothing to do with recreational, they probably will, if they have the internet service up there, they'll probably utilize that.
yeah,
So I mean, that's not a part of the recreational, that's why I think you should probably take it out of one of them, out of one of them capital reserves. I can honestly tell you, I don't think there's enough money in the budget. Building budget to do it, because the building budget's got tacked very, very, very sharply, and I just don't think there's enough money to start adding stuff, because you're not gonna have any money for repairs.
Can we take it out of just undesignated without us? Just isn't there a general undesignated fund?
No.
Everything,
touch that.
No,
Okay,
so we could,
because we
there's
have to
money
vote.
in the,
So it would be out of the recreation account, is Nick says right now, that's where the centers is, it's out of their recreation program
and then that
account.
comes out of that.
Do they have extra money there? I don't know. I
That's
wasn't.
$600 something.
Let's just take it out of the select board discretionary account pending the Board of Parks and Rec letting us know. And we can always switch it. It's just a matter of switching
Right.
numbers.
Mhm.
But at least we can get it going.
Yeah.
I would say
I think
take it
it's a-
out of
I think it's a good
recreation.
idea. I mean, it's,
I do too,
Melanie
and I-
can attest for how handy it is to have Wi-Fi at the library.
And that would be nice for.
And
that
it would be nice
would
for
be a
us,
nice
a couple of those
plus for
meetings
them.
I
It
was
would
at
be
the
nice for
library.
like Belgrade,
Right.
if they need Wi-Fi, we need Wi-Fi, not to have to go all the way down to the library.
Right?
I would say take it out of recreation, and if recreation looks like it's gonna run short, then you could use the select board money. But it may be as we're getting a rec director and some of those, that then all the money budgeted for recreation will be used this year.
Right.
So,
But I
Really
feel like
think-
we can't- but we feel like we can't just add something to the recreations budget without asking that.
that's right.
The committee, the committee.
Right,
Yeah.
asking the Board of Parks and Rec if that's.
So do you want to just table it and put it on the next agenda so they, well,
Well,
they
actually,
won't
they
start
won't,
for
they
that.
won't meet till May. Our movies will start, but and we can get a DVD player in the meantime, and if we have to wait another
Well, I
month.
think it's not a bad idea if the select board authorizes the initial cost to come out of well, if we authorize the installation of $99 and the first month's cost is $72.98.
right,
So $171.98 to come out of the select board special events fund.
mhm.
Then we can figure out about the rest.
And
If
then
the,
the remainder monthly cost, we could ask the Board of Parks and Recreation if we can take it out of their account. And if they balk, then we can bring it back to the board and see where we're gonna get the rest of the money. That's my motion.
I second it.
Okay. Does that make sense, Mary? Then we can get it going,
Mhm.
get it in there.
At least get the installation done, because who knows how long that's gonna take them to come out and do it.
Well, they'll give you a 12-hour span. And make sure
It'll
some,
be 15 or 20 days.
just don't want to do with food pantries.
We don't-
Somebody's there. What's that, Rick?
Are we sure there isn't something up there? Because isn't there something that monitors those freezers and stuff in that building?
Lunch is what?
Security, you mean?
The security
Well,
system.
there's something up there that monitors building. I mean, doesn't it have to have internet to do that?
No.
Could do it over phone line, you could.
And there is a phone line, yeah.
Do they have a phone number?
They used to be a phone up
Yeah,
there.
I remember that.
There
Like,
did used to be a phone up
It might
there.
be just directed, just use the alarm system up there now.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, I'll second Melanie's
Rick, second.
deal and let's take it out of the select people's. On to
Well,
get it.
just to get it going, and then we'll figure out what to do with the rest of the year. All right, so moved and seconded. Any more discussion? All right, seeing none. Dan,
Yes.
Rick,
Yes.
Barbara,
Yes.
Carol.
Yeah.
All right, 5 yeses. All right, which movie are we gonna be seeing on Monday?
Mary, you might want to check with them and see how strong the signal is, or if they're able to boost the signal a little. So that if people were in the parking lot, they would get it. And I don't know if that makes a difference in cost or not, but
Well, and if we have to get by with this year, and maybe boost it for next year. and
yeah,
make sure
but
that
if it's
in the
something that they
budget.
can do when they're putting it in, just,
Right.
yeah, if we know, if.
But then it
if
has to be, then it has
Oh,
to
no, yeah.
be
next
non-passive.
Yeah, I gotta say, they're gonna have to put in the normal internet box, they're gonna have to put in a Wi-Fi.
Well, they said it was all ready to go. All they had to do was, so that seemed like a very low
Yeah,
cost.
so,
But Nick said, he said, are you sure?
because
And
normally
the
you're
guy
gonna put
said,
it,
yes.
normally you're gonna put it in the hardwired box. You basically have to run a cable line over,
Right,
put in the hardwired box, and then you have to put in, you run a wire over to a wireless router that sends a signal out. At that point, it should pick up in that parking lot, because I put the wireless in my house and I get it out of my barn, I just have a problem,
It's just, I mean,
so.
you know how good service is in certain places for no real reason. But, if it's $10 more to get up,
Push it all the way down to
then
the fire
we
station.
should spend the $10 now. So that's all. You like that?
All right, next item on the agenda is discussion of the town meeting election results. Take a motion to open that item.
so moved.
Second,
All right, official results from the March 19th town meeting election are as follows. Select Board, Melanie Jewell, 274, Rick Dameron, 263, Nicholas Alexander, 157. School Board, Sharon Frost, 168, Penelope Morel, 124, Brian Wedge, 56, James Smith, 25, Stacy Dowling, 18. Question 3, Sexual Assault Crisis and Support Center, yes, 360, no, 46. Question 4, Lake Protection, yes, 356, no, 52. Question 5, Spectrum Generations, yes, 342, no, 60. Question 6, Hospice Volunteers of the Waterville Area, yes, 373, no, 32. Question 7, July 4th fireworks, yes, 195, no, 208. Question 8, Subdivision Ordinance, yes, 318, no, 76. Question 9, the Board of Appeals Ordinance, yes, 336, no, 55. Question 10, Commercial Development Review Ordinance, Phosphorus Runoff Standards, yes, 342, no, 50. Question 11, Cemetery Ordinance, yes, 306, no, 81. Question 12, 2023 first quarter spending, yes, 360, no, 35. Question 13, prepayment of taxes, yes, 377, no, 22. Question 14, tax payment date and interest, yes, 367, no, 27. Question 15, offsetting revenue, yes, 391, no, 10. Question 16, Planning Board Legal Reserve Fund, yes, 337, no, 57. Question 17, Administrative Budget, yes, 342, no, 57. Question 18, Public Safety Budget, yes, 357, no, 41. Question 19, Fire and Rescue Communication and Equipment Tower Fund, yes, 352, no, 47. Question 20, Paving Project, yes, 349, no, 35. Question 21, Public Works Budget, yes, 365, no, 20. Question 22, water district creation, yes, 249, no, 135. Question 23, water system contract negotiations, yes, 349, no, 49. Question 24, Main Street pedestrian crossing infrastructure, yes, 182, no, 218. Question 25, cemetery budget, yes, 360, no, 38. Question 26, facilities maintenance budget, yes, 338, no, 62. Are there any questions?
There's another page.
Oh my God, seriously. Oh, there, I'm like, no, there isn't. I was like, what happened to those other ones? All right, question 27, solid waste budget, yes, 347, no, 45. Question 28, skid steer purchase, yes, 350, no, 50. Question 29, library budget, yes, 285, no, 100. Question 30, library mowing contract, yes, 318, no, 63. Question 31, recreation budget, yes, 302, no, 87. Question 32, social services budget, yes, 349, no, 42. Question 33, senior resources committee fundraising, yes, 361, no, 24. Question 34, senior volunteer work program funding, yes, 361, no, 24. Question 35, dams budget, yes, 370, no, 21. Question 36, dams capital reserve account, yes, 358, no, 28. Question 37, capital reserves, yes, 358, no, 41. Question 38, debt service, yes, 375, no, 25. Question 39, trust activities, yes, 377, no, 25. Question 40, first responders memorial funding, yes, 273, no, 125. Question 41, field departmental budgets funding, yes, 357, no, 43. The total number of ballots cast was 413. That represents 14.6% of Belgrade's 2,833 registered voters. We did not meet the 16% that I was hoping for. All right, does anyone have any questions on those?
Want to know the cemetery ordinance should be back rewriting again next year. It's redefining domestic partnership stuff.
Goodness gracious. Dang, now that foiled again. Every time we think we're ahead of the game.
The other day we're talking about just read the ordinance.
If it does pass consent, they probably will.
Yeah, because I told them the other day when they were talking about
Was
the
this-
caucus, but it's going to affect an awful lot in a lot of towns because they base everything on domestic partnership, the way it's written in state law right now.
Was this pertaining to elections? Because I just had a discussion
I
with
don't know,
somebody
it may have
from
been pertaining- it may have been
elections.
pertaining to everything.
And
so-
elections has their own definition.
Yeah, well, they're trying to get everything together for the same definition, so.
Yeah, no, elections has their own, and we are not to refuse it. And their own would be, if somebody came in, a boyfriend and a girlfriend, or a boyfriend to pick up the girlfriends, and I have to say to them, are you domestic partners? And if they consider themselves domestic partners and the answer is yes, then I am to issue the
Yeah, no,
ballot
this was
to
something-
the
this
individual.
was
That
something
is
different than
not
that.
legally, you know, they could have been together for a week. It does not matter according to elections. I have to move in that fashion. So.
Cool.
Cool.
There's always
Well,
something.
they're also gonna start making ranked choice voting available to towns,
To make what?
ranked choice voting.
Oh,
That ought to really make it interesting too. You got a lot more work for you.
yeah.
They're gonna be on warrant articles too, or just on,
No, I believe it's
just for the elected
elected
officials?
officials. It's gonna be.
Yeah.
All right, next up on the agenda, we have the warrant. And Mary, do you have that warrant?
I do have it.
Yeah, okay, so nothing's changed, so warrant number 37.
I have 3 warrants.
Oh,
So-
you just stay right in your lane there. Only doing one.
There's that one.
Okay, so warrant number 37, and the amount of $655,114.46. Make that motion.
Second.
All right, that warrant is open for discussion. And nothing jumped out at me. Foreclosure letters, that's a 5390. That seems like a bigger amount than we've had in the past for that.
I got a couple questions.
Go, Ricky. I don't know if I can
Looks
answer.
like- On page 2, the third one up from the bottom, a door subscription. We've got it there, and then we've got it on the next page. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 up from the bottom. Different prices.
So I'm not sure about that, but we have to have more than 2 Adobes in here. I don't even understand this because I've worked other places. But unless we purchase those monthly Adobes, we have problems with PDF in our programs. And so Nick had to purchase additional Adobes, and I don't know if he's purchasing them from someplace else, but we have to have them on the front line. Because
Correspondence.
it
with
was
DP,
going-
right.
2 of us would go down out front because Anthony's up out back or Nick's in his room and he's up. And so it affects our programs and how we're able to work out front, Rick.
Okay, but the only question I had, it looks like to me they're different prices, so that was a question.
We
I
can
think
ask.
it's the same.
Leave a
because
note to check on that.
There's two, the first one on page 2, it's 2 subscriptions.
Right.
Yep,
for
I saw that.
$31.62. And the other one is 1 subscription for $15.81,
Which is half.
which is half.
And
So I
should
think
that
it's,
not be covered under our IT services?
Well, that's what I thought, but no, it's not. No, it's not. We have to purchase that.
You could just check on that, that's all I'm asking.
Yeah, so did you hear what Barbara said, though? 1 is for 2.
Yeah, I know, I saw that.
Then 1 is for 1. So we have 3.
So,
Okay.
and can we ask our IT provider why that's not part of what they provide?
We can try to ask them. yeah.
Because it's pointless for us to have something if we can't open PDFs, because everything comes in a PDF format.
I know. And a lot of our programs, like Moses, our state program for elections, we have to have those PDFs. But it would be very frustrating because we'd be working out front and somebody would be doing something and the program would go down because there's only 2 Adobes. And so I told Nick, I says, we need another one. We cannot be functioning as out front. With people going down all the time. It was causing frustration for the clerks.
Okay, so there's 3 and that's that front line. Yeah, so if we can maybe ask.
All right, that's Nick.
All right, I got another question on page 9. The Monument Place, we had to pay for that early, I guess. Always gonna lose a discount. How can we? This is why I was so late when that got sent out in an email answering, because how can we be paying for something we haven't got all the money for? We can't, we shouldn't be doing this. As much as I'm in favor of this, there's some things that are wrong that probably not even right for us to be doing. What happens if they can't raise the money? What do we do then? Sometimes it's easy to say yes, till you really think about it. That's the only thing I want to bring up. It's already done. We'll deal with the problem, I guess, when it gets here, or if it doesn't get here. But
The same thing, but
be
it sounds
careful
like
what
you're
we-
confident they're going to get the money, so.
What's that?
I said, I thought the same thing of what if they don't raise the money, but it was voted on the warrant, so. I mean, we voted, the town voted to spend the money, right?
Right.
They did, but it's because I really don't want to get into it now, but it's because they don't know the whole story. I just think that's something we gotta be aware of. Can't be just sweet talk and say, we need to do this.
Well, and it was tricky because, you know, I feel like, you know, municipal governments run a certain way. And, you know, did it have to be done before this meeting?
That's right.
Apparently the urgency was there. Or I think it was, I think because they'd held the price after December 31st. And they were kind of like, if you don't hurry up and do this, we waited for town meeting now.
Right, and the
Now,
town approved, and the town approved it.
Right. so We
I
probably
know,
should
I mean, and
before
that's what
we
people
put it on the
think.
ballot.
They think just because the town people approved it, we control the spending and we gotta keep doing that. Anyways, page- looks like we bought a windshield for one of the pickups, so the pickup. My question is, why didn't that go under insurance? I know they're gonna tell me it's $500 deductible, but I don't think it is on comprehensive.
What page is that, Rick?
What's that, Rick?
Page 10,
On page 10, second one down, for the 2016 Ford windshield, $449.
I think on commercial vehicles, you quite often see that deductible. Unlike a personal vehicle. I don't know that, but I expect that's going to be the answer.
Well, all my vehicles, commercial,
Yeah,
get much for a windshield yet.
I was little, because I was thinking that, I was like, it's $200 usually for a windshield.
Yes. I mean, it's just something we need to look at. And that's all I have.
I thought it seemed kind of high, but I was like, haven't had a windshield replaced for a little bit, but
Maybe they come out and did it too. I don't know. No, they may on site and did it. I don't know. I go through.
We insure our vehicles through MMA, or do we have a second policy?
through MMA.
It says, yeah, cracked during a snowstorm, because they asked what happened to it. He said it was cracked during a snowstorm. I don't know why it didn't go through insurance, so I didn't ask that.
well, if they didn't inquire, you can. send in the
I
bill.
wrote a note to ask,
See if
and I
you
can
can-
have him send you out an explanation.
Thank you. That's all I got.
All right, does anybody have any more questions? All right, seeing none. Ricky?
Yes.
Dan?
Yes.
Barbara?
Yeah.
Carol?
Yeah,
All right, 5 yeses. We'll move that one forward.
Who did the second on that? Got Melanie for a motion.
No, call me second.
Okay, Dan, second.
All right, and
So I have two other warrants, so did the BMV today, so that has to be signed, and I don't have, I kind of would like to know where my authority begins and ends here, only because usually Anthony signs that. And we also have the payroll warrant.
well, and that's one of the things that we had asked to have happen was that we need something in writing that if the town manager is unavailable, that the town clerk is the acting town manager.
Isn't that that's in the job description?
It just says acting town manager, but it doesn't delineate the duties under that heading.
Well, it's
To
just all the-
clarify
it's
it
just that
for
it's all the
me.
duties that the town manager would do. If in the, you just act in the, you
Is
act
it?
as town manager. You
She
act
was
as
like,
town
"Who can
manager
I
in the town
hire and who
manager's
can I
absence.
Why don't we do that?
Okay.
What's that,
Remember you
Rick?
said that.
Why don't we do that? Why don't we put that into play that if Anthony's out, then Mary's acting town manager?
It's in her job description. Or I know, I've seen it in the
It
notebook
just says.
that has all the job
yeah,
descriptions,
well,
but it says you know, in the
So
absence.
I just want to be clear before I start signing things then. I mean, I can do it because sometimes, you know, these things come up and these out, you don't have a board meeting. It's just, you know, you happen to have a board meeting tonight. So I said, I'm just going to bring it to you guys to sign because it seemed like the right thing to do.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fine, we'll
I
sign
mean,
it.
I don't have that notebook in front of me, but
Yeah,
But
no,
I
I
know
know,
that
I
I-
have
I
my
know that I've
job
seen it,
description,
so-
but I just want to be clear.
yeah, if the town manager is out of town and something needs to
Okay.
happen,
If
Okay.
it needs to
Then-
be signed before the next select board meeting,
Okay.
then sign them away. Just let us know what you signed if you want.
Years ago, when it started on board though, even though the town manager was signing that stuff, we always got those warrants to basically vote on it, even after the fact, 'cause we still have to approve them. We're responsible for that money, and we haven't seen one of those warrants in years.
It's kind of an affirmation, is basically of
Yeah.
the release of funds, you know.
So
I know what
we
he's
really
saying.
should start
Yeah.
seeing those.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Pulling that back, going back to some of the way we used to do
Yeah, I
stuff.
mean,
All
seems
right,
like that since we've gotten more and more into
So,
electronic
warrant
stuff, we're getting
number?
more and more lax.
so is there a warrant 38? Because we went from warrant 37 to warrant 39.
And that's because of the way the warrants run, because Nick started the warrant for tonight on March 31st. So that many days since, because also did my, last Friday, I did my monthlies last Thursday. And Anthony has the approval to sign that, which is the vital records, the dogs, and the IFNW.
Okay. All right, so warrant 39 in the amount of $24,574.84.
and what is that one for?
This is payroll warrant.
Yeah.
Which we don't see this one. Which is why I've said, like, when does it we get
Yeah.
paid? Like, we get, you know, when we get ours and then what warrant is it on? Apparently it's on this one.
Yeah, and normally it's not that much, but there was the additional money.
Oh, the
that
bump up
was-
for everybody.
Right, right. Normally it's not that much at all. So,
All right, so I'll make that motion.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All right, all those in favor, Barbara,
Yes,
Carol,
Yes.
Dan,
Yes.
Rick?
Yes,
All right, 5 yeses. All right, then we have warrant number 40, State of Maine BMV, in the amount of $4,549.25. I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? All right, seeing none. Rick?
Yes,
Carol?
Yes.
Barbara?
yes,
Dan?
Yes.
All right, 5 yeses. All right, does anyone have anything that they would like, anything else they'd like to discuss?
okay. Yes, I'm sure it's on this one.
All right, seeing none, I will take a motion for a 2-minute break, and we will exit select board meeting and then enter an executive session. So moved. Okay, moved and seconded. Oh, moved, I'll second. I mean,
Sign two, please. What time is that?
7:29. Dan, how do you want to vote on that? 2-minute break and then we'll get into executive session.
So
We might-
can
we
we
might
get
need
more
more
than
than-
a 2-minute break?
we might need more than a 2-minute break because we
I
have to
have a
sign
bunch of
spirit animal.
certificates and
Okay,
things
how
that
about-
need to be signed.
Well, we won't close executive session. We won't, the select board meeting yet. We'll just keep signing.
Okay. So this is this one.
And is that the Spirit of America Awards?
Yes.
Okay, because
So-
we've not yet decided as a board when those are going to be presented and how.
Yeah. No, this
This is the
Anthony just wanted
library
certificates signed.
So we can sign them, but I don't want those to go out until
No,
we
they're
decided
not.
how we're doing it.
So the other thing, Melanie, this is gonna take
You
some
should
time
have signed this vice
for the
chair.
tan. Do you want to come in tomorrow? Are you off?
What's that? Does it need to be signed now?
Yeah, all these pink tabs. You probably got 15 or 20 of them.
Okay, well, I can do them while we're sitting here.
Okay.
I'm supposed to be off tomorrow, but we know how well that works sometimes.
Yeah.
You're a salesperson, you should.
I should what?
You're a salesperson, you just do it on your phone.
All right, so it should be the
Yeah.
hot
Doesn't
pink
work that
tabs,
well.
but just turn the pages.
I brought my computer home tonight because even though I'm off tomorrow, I still have to take leads.
Did you see the
Trying to do it on my phone, I
obituary
can't
and
attach stuff.
see the obituary and got the Al Hodgson died?
No, he did.
So,
Oh, my word.
What?
obituary in the
What
I
is
can't
that?
believe that.
Al Hodgson.
Yeah.
They called me this morning after he passed away.
Wow.
What's that?
I said,
Oh,
our secretary called me the next morning after he passed away.
that's too bad.
That's sad.
Well, he's been pretty sick.
Oh, I didn't realize he'd been sick.
You got COVID twice,
Oh,
pneumonia. We've been talking on the phone back and forth, but he hadn't been out of the house since he first got sick, except by ambulance.
Well, in case anyone's wondering, because I do have this fabulous head cold.
I was gonna
am
say,
rocking
you're
it.
you're getting worse
But
as
I
the
have-
evening goes on.
Yeah, I've taken everything possible for decongestant, nothing's working, but I also took 2 COVID tests 24 hours apart, and they're both negative, so like, no, it's just a crappy head cold.
Yeah, my
I
brother
thought
had,
maybe it
nothing
was spring
healthy.
allergies
I
on
said,
it.
a lot of it's allergies, because I know what everybody, I started this morning, Mary started this
Oh, I
morning.
started, that's what I first thought, so I started with Loratadine, and that didn't do anything, so I went to Zyrtec. Then I went to Dayquil. And it's still
Fine.
literally nothing's budging. and I'm just
Oh, you
trying to get
reprint
not
them?
To go to a sinus
No.
infection.
So one thing I just wanted to bring up, to you guys, for the board to start kind of rolling in your heads. It doesn't look like any of the fuel companies gonna do any free buys or any signed contracts. The fuel, that's gonna leave us pretty stuck.
oh,
And I can tell you that we don't even have close, right now with their prediction for fuel price, we're not even gonna be close to even cover the budget. So it's something you guys need to keep in your back pockets to think about. I would definitely start probably the 1st of May to go out to RFP, or maybe middle of May, but I doubt you're gonna get any prices back.
Yeah, when does our contract end with the
June
best of
1st.
fuel? June 1st.
So now I'm trying to get all the tanks filled on this year's contract,
Oh, yeah.
because we still got 2,000 gallons left on our contract. So
Still get a laugh.
I'm gonna try to get everything filled out before the end of the contract. So we're in good shape, but that's not gonna do much for us. That's what my fear is
hmm.
with the facility maintenance budgets is, we increase the fuel budget,
But maybe not enough.
but not enough. And nobody could have predicted this,
Right.
So, I
So
mean,
you're gonna have them deliver May 31st?
no, but I'm gonna try to do as close as we can. I mean, we
Yeah.
got some tanks right now, they're almost empty, so I don't know why they haven't come forward yet. But I know, the fuel companies are struggling too. I mean,
Yeah.
unfortunately, they got pre-buys and contracts and they have to abide by them and they're, I called today and kerosene, and that's the other thing for fuel systems, you gotta be prepared, because like kerosene, people have mobile homes. Kerosene, price of kerosene today, regular cash price is $6.99 a gallon for kerosene.
Oh, my
Today's
God.
cash price, and that's just today's price, they can only guarantee that for 1 hour.
This is 2021.
So it's just something that, you guys wanna keep, I don't know where to go with it. That's why I said something, brought it up to the,
Right.
to the superintendent, because I think he's really wishful thinking for $3 and something cents a gallon.
Right.
Because I mean, the price of diesel and the price of fuel is just. I think you can see the gas prices dip. I don't think you can see the diesel and gas prices, and diesel and fuel oil prices dip. I don't know why, but and even
Well, maybe if they do that, where they take the taxes off from that, then.
that's gonna do nothing for our heating oil. I mean, because usually kerosene, right now, usually kerosene is 50 cents above number 2 fuel, and now it's almost double.
I can't wait till we see what the prices come back from hot topping this year. It's gonna be right outside. My guess is we're not gonna be hot topping.
Yeah, if you do, it'll be very minimum. You won't do what you got. Yeah.
Easy to do it.
I don't, have you guys put that out to bid yet or no?
No.
Yeah, so,
And with me having to move all around town too, because it's not like in a concentrated location.
right, and I think you guys are boys gonna have to,
Yeah.
you know, like Depot Road, I don't think that's gonna make it another year.
I know. It's
That was
really
bad.
Yeah, really bad.
I mean, the rest of them probably make it, but that definitely gonna make it.
Smooth it out, they'd let us all on it.
Right.
Go back
Well,
to
there's
dirt,
that
that's the way to go.
Are those all signed? So we're waiting
I want to make sure that these don't go anywhere.
No, they're not going
until
anywhere.
the
You
board
can
just-
trust me there.
No, just because we haven't decided if we're gonna do what we've done in the past, where we framed it with the cover of the town report. So that's what we've done in the past, or that was in last year, got a little caddy.
So
on
I
first.
think that there is a plan already put in place. So I'm not sure that information was communicated.
What is the plan that's in place?
I was here at the board meeting, you guys all discussed about having that and the.
That's what we used to do.
Right.
Take our 2-minute break.
Yeah.
Yeah, are we off or on?
It's still on.
So
Should
It's
we
just a
end
break.
this meeting?
Yes, so make a motion that we
I move
exit
we
the
end the
select
meeting.
board meeting,
We exit.
exit select board meeting.
Second.
Moved and seconded, all those in favor, Ricky?
Okay.
Dan?
Yes.
Carol? Barbara?
Yeah.
All right,
So now just end.
Yeah.
yes, because we need to end the recording. Well, we don't
Stop the
end the
video,
meeting, we
no.
need to stop the video, because we're gonna come back to re-enter the
And
select
is
board
there
meeting
anyone
after
on?
the second.
It's
No
still
one else
recording.
on? Oh, Tom Dowd is still on.